Objection shouted loud and raw. Truth unravel world's last straw. Objection overruled, watch it break. Dark secrets, hidden lies, they shake. Psychopath witness loses grip. Killer exposed, truth will rip. Eyes darting, restless sweat they drip. Words are weapons, razors tip. Bloodshot stare, mind unhinged. Justice here, no sins avenged. Objection overruled, watch it break. Dark secrets, hidden lies, they shake. Psychopath witness loses grip. Killer exposed, truth will rip. Crashing down mind's facade. Guilt's fortress forever flawed. Truth's hammer smashes through the veil. Killer's heart in a wooden jail. Objection overruled, watch it break. Dark secrets, hidden lies, they shake. Psychopath witness loses grip. Killer exposed, truth will rip. Will rip. Will rip. Will rip. Courtroom chaos, tension high. Defense attorney, eagle eye. Objection shouted loud and raw. Truth unravel world's last straw. Objection overruled, watch it break. Dark secrets, hidden lies, they shake. Psychopath witness loses grip. Killer exposed, truth will rip. Eyes darting, restless sweat they drip. Words are weapons, razors tip. Bloodshot stare, mind unhinged. Justice here, no sins avenged. Objection overruled, watch it break. Dark secrets, hidden lies, they shake. Psychopath witness loses grip. Killer exposed, truth will rip.
Hello everybody, I'm Manakyn. Welcome to the stream. I am sorry for being late. It has been one of the roughest weeks of my life. Oh boy. I've been up until 5 a.m. every single night getting auditions in and stuff like that. For those of you who don't know, right now I'm trying to balance voiceover and my engineering job, and functionally, I have 2 full-time jobs right now. So I work like 90 hours a week. It has not been great. I'm trying to figure out how to move forward in this, but, you know, I'm trying to figure out my voiceover stuff, and, you know, if voiceover works out, we'll see what happens. But right now I am functionally balancing 2 full-time jobs. Plus, I want to hang out with you guys because this is like the one thing in my life currently that brings me happiness. I am a sad, miserable man right now. Let's see who's here. How's it going, Bowser? Trucy. It's mini Trucy today. Randy. Nobuyo Oyama passed away. She was the voice of Doraemon. Oh, I see. Oh. That's sad, but I wish her... I don't know what you're supposed to say, to be honest. I wish her and... Like, are we allowed to say I wish her the best? Even, like... It's like, you know, when Christian people say, like, I hope she's happy in heaven or something like that. I'll just say, like, I wish her the best. And I am very grateful that she contributed quite a bit to my childhood in Doraemon. Although I didn't watch Doraemon in Japanese, I actually watched it in English. Regardless, she was the original Japanese voice, so... yeah, all the best to Oyama and her family. Hey, how's it going, Kiyoma? Where's the LO? Oh, the LO is all the way down there. LO! Hey, how's it going, Goober? You're late? It's okay, don't worry about it. Yeah, hey, how's it going, John? Normal says, RIP, you will be missed. Oh, I appreciate that. At the same time, I always wonder if saying you will be missed is a good thing. You know, I'm very careful when it comes to talking about death. Ever since my mom died, I've become very careful about talking about death and how to approach it. Because, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't really think when they are trying to console people whose family have passed or something like that. They'll say things like, oh, I understand what you're going through. It's like, well, do you? It's like death is a difficult thing to talk about. And, you know, nobody is all that good at it. So I always try to be really careful when, yeah. I never know how to react when someone goes through a loss. I completely agree with that. I personally, me personally, I think the Japanese way of dealing of consoling someone when they're going through a loss is the best. Like, for those of you who might be unfamiliar with how, you know, some Japanese customs work, the word sorry, sumimasen, it's only used when you specifically did cause the problem. Right? You would say, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I think that's a reasonable thing to say. Like, I always say, like, no matter what you say, there's always going to be something wrong or something that can be misinterpreted. So, I really like the Japanese way of consoling someone. Which is just saying, I see. Because it's kind of an acknowledgement that no matter what you say, it doesn't make the person feel any better. So you're just saying, like, I understand that. It's like, I understand that you're going through a difficult time. It's like, it's just like, I see. So to me, that is like, to me personally, I feel like that's one of the best ways to do it. Still haven't started. I'm running late today, like usual. Which is why I really like the Japanese way of saying it. Like, you would just say, like, so desu ka? So desu ka? And just say, oh, is that so? And, you know, that's generally the accepted way to do it. And I personally appreciate that. In the United States, I feel like it's kind of socially accepted that you have to say something like, I'm sorry that something happened to you, or I'm sorry that your family member passed away, or I'm sorry that, you know, you're going through a different time. And, you know, I don't like that, because it's like, you know, you don't really apologize for something that you're completely unrelated to. It's kind of just like, you do it because that's what you're supposed to do. Do you guys know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. So, yeah. I agree, it's just the culture. Yeah. Fortunately or unfortunately, you know, I've had a lot of kids. Hold on, let me take my vitamins. You know, if you took that sentence out of context, it was just me saying, I have had a lot of kids. I've had a lot of kids who ask, like, why do you do this thing? Or why do you say sorry? I didn't do anything wrong. Or maybe like in another context, they would say like, why do you talk about the weather or something like that? It's like, well, that's just because that's what you do. That's just the accepted thing to do. So, you know, there's a reason why, you know, these norms developed over a long period of time. You know, things like talking about the weather is like, it's a very simple thing to discuss that allows people to acknowledge that you are like acknowledging that that they are there enough to have a conversation. Like the worst possible thing, like I have met people like who are totally awful, who say, American kids ask me that, yeah, all the time, because they're kids, they're curious, right? I've had people who, like, you know, during small talk, for example, I'm like saying like, oh, it's really hot today, and then like he would say like, oh, are you seriously going to talk about the weather right now? Like he likes to be brutally honest, but then it just makes things really awkward. It's like, okay, well, I won't talk to you then. So you see, like, the reason why you do it isn't actually to talk about the weather. It's actually just to say, hey, I acknowledge that you're there and I feel comfortable enough to have a discussion with you. That's really what it is. Would you say my condolences is better? It's case by case, and it depends on the person, I would say. Like, some people want to be hugged, some people want to be alone, and it's very difficult. So it's like, it's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to say the right thing, because everyone reacts to it differently. So no matter how you say something, someone will disagree with it. Right? I know plenty of people who say they want to be alone, but they don't want to be alone. So it's like, what do you do in that case? It's not easy. It's not easy. And the answer is, no matter what you say, it's always wrong. And it's kind of a bad way to actually phrase that, but that's the reality. No matter what you say, it's wrong. Which is why I always say, do the best you can. But I also say, on the other side of things, I always say to people, if you do happen to go through a grieving period or something like that, and I always say this to a person who isn't grieving. I say it before they're grieving because, you know, it's not really appropriate to say to someone who is currently grieving. But I always say, if you are going through a grieving period at some point, try to understand that it's also difficult for the people who are trying to help you, because they also don't know what to do. So I always try to, you know, put that into perspective. Like, no matter what they do, it's not going to be correct. So just try to understand that what they do is not going to be correct, if pretty much. Yeah, so I always say, you know, understanding has to come both ways. Even when you're grieving, you should try to at least be somewhat mature about it. And I know people don't like to hear that, because that's like me victim blaming. But that's the reality, right? You have to be mature on both sides. So if you end up going through a grieving period, try to understand that, you know, nobody says the right thing. Remember to never isolate yourself. Hey, Indigo. Yeah, 2 days ago, you came in at a very deep conversation about how to create characters, and now you're coming in a very deep conversation about death. So you're getting the best of the Manakyn channel right now. What sparked this conversation? The passing of Doraemon's voice actor. Anyway, let's not talk so much about death, and let's talk more about murder. Let's play Forget Apollo Justice. That is not Apollo Justice. Yeah. Yeah, I think, by the way, oh, wait. All right, we're going to jam while talking a little bit about this. One thing I have noticed is that a lot of Japanese localizers, they sometimes miss this, the aspect of death when people are consoling people, right? It kind of makes the Japanese characters seem like jerks. Hey, how's it going, Austin? It's been a bit. It kind of makes Japanese characters seem like jerks. If somebody's going through a death, in the Japanese translation, in Japanese, they'll generally say, I see, or oh, is that so? Or something like that, right? And a lot of localizers don't understand the culture well enough to like say like, okay, in America, they wouldn't be saying, I see, they would be saying, I'm sorry to hear that, or I'm sorry that happened, or my condolences, or something like that. So like, in English, when someone said, my mom just died, is that so? So it's always kind of the localization is tough, and I feel like localizers always change the things that don't need to be changed and don't change the things that do need to be changed. So it's like, I mean, mostly because a lot of the localizers are people who kind of like to write their own stories, but they don't have the, let's say, the gumption to do so. So they try to change someone else's. That's what happens a lot. Anyway, for those of you who've played Fire Emblem, you know a character named Effie. You've noticed the localization of the Ace Attorney games tend to make some of the characters meaner as well. You know, I've wanted to go back and play this game in Japanese. Because I know all the puns have changed. Like, you know, they try really hard to make these puns. Like, yes-sa no-sa and I-do-no-sa. Anyway. All right. Last time. Phoenix. He doesn't know what we know. Phoenix, why? Why, Phoenix, why? Would I translate what characters are saying for people who don't speak? Well, I probably won't play the game in Japanese on screen, if that's what you mean. I might play like another Japanese game. I wanted to play Ghost of Tsushima in Japanese, but apparently the original language was English, so I kept it in English. But yeah. But if we do play a Japanese game, I'll try to translate things. Like sometimes like certain translations aren't always clear, and that's just how things are. Some things don't translate well, so I would definitely try to like explain things. Solution, eat the... Quick, Phoenix! Oh.
Please bring the surprise witness to the courtroom. Sure, bruh. I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin.
Yeah, I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony.
Sure, judiciary deal?
The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it best to contain the information to this room.
Very well. And you are the witness, I gather.
Oh, frick, I didn't think of a voice for him. You know what? Since his theme seems to be the Noir's theme, I know his voice. As I stood there at the witness stand, I looked over. There was a man with really spiky hair. Too spiky. Something was wrong. But I just stood there and answered the question. Ah, yes. Yes, sir. State your name and occupation for the record. He wanted to know my name, which is funny, because I already told it to him yesterday. But court proceedings are court proceedings, and I had no choice but to follow. My name is Drew Measham. I'm a painter.
A painter? And you are somehow related to the case?
Well, no, not per se. Maybe he's soft-spoken. I'll bring him soft-spoken just a little bit. I imagine all of this is out loud, but everyone's just so used to weird witnesses. The judiciary deal was to allow the witness to talk to himself. I have one simple question for the witness. Mr. Measham, was it? Do you know what this is? Oh, yeah. I know it well.
How's that possible? Shah, have you seen this diary page somewhere before?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I made it.
You made it?
Yes. You might call it one of my, works. The prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Gramery.
Illegal evidence?
I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large. Drew Measham has another side, you might say. He is skilled at the making of certain reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Apollo's blue dialogue is canon out loud. That is true.
Forgeries? Well, so are we to understand that this page here is
a fake, prepared by a certain defense attorney.
Objection!
Hold it! You said objection, not hold it.
I didn't prepare this evidence!
A tiny 8-year-old girl in a top hat did. Phoenix, why did you take the evidence from the tiny 8-year-old girl?
Objection!
Ah, the attorney speaks. Something about the page, I presume. But what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented the evidence to us, Phoenix Wright.
Witness, Mr. Measham, was it?
Yeah, he really was framed. Never trust a magician.
Who requested this forgery? Who was your client?
I thought to myself, who was the client? But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I don't know.
Yeah. What?
Most of my clients would prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. Perhaps that was a business risk on my end, but sometimes, in order to make the bread, you can't be dead. Yo, bars, man. I make the items they want, and receive my payment. That is the extent of my contact with them.
Objection!
But, there's no proof that this is a fake! Oh, it's a fake. Huh? To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my work. It was quick thinking on my part, but I'm glad I did that habit from the beginning. I can say without a doubt, this is mine.
Mr. Wright, you have just presented illegal evidence to this court. My court. If only there was some sort of legal proceeding, like discovery, that allows this thing to not happen. Ah!
Like, I have been playing this game for over, 2.5 years now? And every single time, I still cannot believe they just allow people to keep evidence in their pocket.
It was careless of me. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I shouldn't have trusted that 8-year-old.
What's this?
I don't know. I'm just going over there at the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit and the spiky hair. They said it was really important.
It was all a trap. A fatal trap. Mr. Wright. Shabra. Do you have an explanation for yourself?
Well, there was this 8-year-old.
If I did, would the court hear it? Probably not.
Come on! Phoenix has a literal unbeaten track record, and every single time he's gotten the actual culprit to confess. It's like, are we not gonna give him a little bit of slack?
Forging evidence is a serious crime. Do you know what else is a serious crime?
Not giving the defendant more than 1 day to prepare for a trial! He ain't Edgeworth, I know, right?
And presenting it in a court, a serious mistake. Fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Oh, what? You thought that letter was the only fake? So was my accent. Tell me, what kind of defendant thinks some kid from Germany couldn't take him on? And what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? I set you up, right? You thought I was just some German kid! But the answer is quite clear. A guilty one.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait! I understand that presenting forged evidence at the court is a serious crime. But you cannot hold my client responsible for the actions I undertook.
That is... No. You might be able to call a mistrial here. You might be able to call a mistrial here if you can argue that the defendant didn't have proper representation. That's going to throw Phoenix under the bus, but if Phoenix... Okay, you know what? Now that I'm reasoning this out for myself, this is a lot of character. Phoenix is literally saying he is not... Okay, if this was like a legal argument, Phoenix right now is claiming he is not a proper enough defense attorney to actually be considered reasonable defense. So this is a lot of character by Phoenix. He's literally throwing himself under the bus to help his client. Man.
I am sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor. Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you wanted it to, yeah? I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. I see no need for further discussion on this matter. Special witness dismissed.
Mr. Attorney.
Sure.
Could I ask your name?
Phoenix Wright.
Mr. Wright. I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright. Is that why he was following Apollo around? Is that why he knows about Apollo's cases? I don't remember who it was. Like, somebody said, was it Vera who said, like, my father was happy when he heard the Wright & Co. Wright Anything Agency resumed legal practice? I wonder if he feels guilty about it. I mean, even worse, he got his daughter involved in a criminal underworld. Yeah, you guys think so?
Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over.
Like half a year since I played? Yeah, it might have been Vera. Maybe he feels guilty.
You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal.
Okay, that's reasonable.
However, this court must...
Honestly, if they made an appeal, they probably have a good chance of overturning the verdict. Your Honor!
Yes, Mr. Zack.
There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. You're guilty! Ha ha! It is impossible.
I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you.
Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist? I was an illusion all along!
What are you talking about?
I am talking about this! Mr. Enigmar?
The defendant's escaped! Find him, quick!
I'd like to imagine that, like, he threw down a smoke bomb and there was a puff of smoke. And then as the smoke clears, he's like, God dang it, why is this door locked? It was supposed to be open. And now he's just beating up the bailiff. I don't exist!
Bailiff, close all exits from the building. On the double! He must not be allowed to escape!
I'd like to think that, you know, in Phoenix's mind it was an escape act, but in reality, he's just shooting down people. Ah! Ah, you can't take me to jail! He's like Trixie!
That day, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shoddy Anigmar, aka Zach Gramarye, did not just escape from the court. He literally, unbelievably, mowed down at least 36 guards. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again. Not since that day.
Phoenix really is defending people named Shady.
This is the Gramarye miracle!
Shady Enigma. Oh, yeah, maybe.
No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist.
If the defendant escapes, does that mean you can't declare a verdict? I think you can still say he's guilty.
That's how it happened. The trial of magician Zach Gramarye. It vanished, along with him. For all eternity. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It was like 7 years, but still. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however. But not until 7 years later.
I gotta say, the weirdest thing is the save screen when it's like,
Everything was awful, but the worst was about to happen.
da 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 da. What game do I plan on? I'm not sure, to be honest. Maybe Enigma? Or not Enigma. Enigmar is on my mind. Maybe Metaphor? Maybe British attorney Wright? British Phoenix Wright. Maybe Zelda Goes to IKEA. Kingdom Hearts. Oh, I haven't thought about that. Maybe. Yeah, we've played Great Ace Attorney 1, but we haven't played Great Ace Attorney 2. Susie's Revenge. Susato's Revenge, where she just flips everyone. That's the Great Ace Attorney 2 is actually an action game where Susato's like going around flipping people. I'd absolutely. Would you guys play that? I'd absolutely play that. British Right 2 is the best Ace Attorney game. Oh, really? That's definitely going to be played at some point. Susato should be given permission to kill.
That trial 7 years ago was the beginning of it all. This I know, beyond a doubt. The mysteries of the past work their magic on the present.
Hey, how's it going, Toko? The most questionable. I have no questionable moments right now. I'm just saying.
But you'll soon be finding all this out for yourself. Which of Magnifie's Gramarye's disciples pulled that trigger? Where did the vanishing defendant
Zach Gramarye go?
What dark truth lurks behind the forged diary? And why is this child so cute?
Oh. Mason system. Okay.
The past left us these 4 keys to unlocking the truth. As we all know, the present is orange. There are 4 keys in the present. And when all the questions have found their answers, the final trial will begin. But first, you must chase the truth through then and now. Think of it as a game.
I wonder, so what is this? Is this like inside Phoenix Wright's head? Like he's trying to piece everything together in his head?
Just like Apollo has his zone, this is my zone. Welcome to my domain. This is the terrible trial that saw me present forged evidence. It ended half finished when the defendant vanished. What became of me after that?
This is Phoenix's version of the chest of this game went full Umineko.
As your investigation proceeds, the answer will become clear, bruh. Oh, and one more thing. There's something I must tell you. As Apollo has his bracelet, so too do I have my own alien technology.
Hey! Let's go! My boy is bringing Maya's superpowers back. I hope Maya comes back.
My Magatama. What does it do, you ask?
Well, then again, has Maya gotten any better at spirit channeling? Wasn't like Pearl like a natural genius? And like she could do whatever she wanted, and Maya was like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
What does it do, you ask? That it would have you see for yourself.
Yeah, didn't Maya hook up a hose in the middle? Didn't she take like a hose and put it in the middle of the office to simulate a waterfall? And then Phoenix told her to go to the fire department, and she actually went to the fire department and asked them to spray her with a hose. Yeah, I remember that.
Well now, shall we begin?
I thought they just had a shower in the... No, I thought she... Was it a shower? No, I thought they like... She brought in like a hose to make a shower or something like that.
Use LB and RB to jump between the past and the present.
Phoenix, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't worry. I'm sure the forces out there do. But let's begin 7 years ago in the past. Right after my last trial came to an abrupt end. Now that you know the game, let's play.
I'm going to be honest, Shadi isn't really that great of a father. Like, if the fact that he's a woman beater says anything, Trucy's probably better with Wright. Zach is like a DT. I know, right?
Let's play the game.
And we still don't know what happened to his mom. Alright, so this is the present. Okay, doesn't look like we can do anything in the present yet. Alright. Where should we go first? Should we go in order, or should we go in the order that I want to go in? I'm gonna go out of order. Wait, is that confirmed? I must have missed something. No, I think it's not necessarily confirmed. There is a recommended order. I see. Well, don't tell me the recommended order. I might just jump around a bit. I don't think it's confirmed that he is a bad father, but based on his actions in the game, the fact that he just casually beats a woman for not helping him cheat correctly, the fact that he just abandons Trucy, he doesn't seem like a very good person. At least not a person who should be raising children. I kind of want to go to Drew's studio first, but maybe I should go to Wright & Co. You know what? We'll go in the order that Phoenix Wright went in. And chances are the first thing Phoenix Wright did after he came, he got disbarred was he went back to his office and he just sat there for a bit.
The nightmare trial was over, and the new nightmare of figuring out what had happened had just begun. I wanted to wake up, to walk away. But I figured I'm the only one who could do this. Probably. And besides, I had plenty of time. Thanks to the Bar Association Review Board's decision. It's hard to work when your attorney's badge has been taken away.
7 years ago, Wright & Co. Law Offices.
Oh, morning, Daddy.
I'm so glad you came.
You okay, Daddy? Are they picking on you?
I am fine as always. Old boy is here to help me after all.
That's young man, bruh.
And mine?
Oh, good morning.
Oh, good morning. That's a cute outfit you have on, bruh.
Thanks. My first show's today. I'm going to be showing off my panties.
Josie!
2 weeks had passed since then.
You put the Kitaki's in S tier, dad. The Kitaki's dad is actually pretty S tier. I'm gonna be real here. Big, what is it? Big Wins Kitaki is pretty good. And Randy, who do you think taught her that trick? It was obviously her dad. Let's be real here. Her dad was like, "You want to know how to get lots of views?" It's oh, he just keeps getting worse.
I called her into my office.
Oh. Where has she been for 2 weeks? Where has she been for 2?
Juicy. There's something we need to talk about.
Who is her mother? I don't think she has one. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. She has one, but I don't think she's alive.
It's been 2 weeks since your father's disappeared. We need to start thinking about your future.
Wait, so Phoenix just straight up adopts her. Yo, what a frickin' Chad. Phoenix is such... Yo, Phoenix is a big, strong man. Okay? Phoenix is my big, strong man, okay? Ain't nobody gonna be calling Phoenix a wimp ever again. Phoenix is a man.
I did some calling around. It's hard to say, but you have no living relative.
Oh, God. She literally has no one.
So, I was wondering if you wanted to stay with me for a while. Just until your daddy comes home. It won't be long, trademark.
Phoenix stepped up. Phoenix is a big, strong dad. Yeah, we'll see about her mother later, I guess.
I hope. Of course, it's totally your choice. You don't like it here, we can go wherever you'd like. I could look up some places you might want to stay at. This is weird. Oh, so there's a place called the Very Big Circus. Phoenix, no!
Mr. Attorney, Daddy told me about you. He said I could trust you.
Wait, really?
So, if I stay here, does that mean you'll be my family?
Barry Big Burkus.
I guess so. It's getting weird.
Mr. Attorney?
Actually, why don't you just call me Nick? Or Nikki. There's a girl who calls me Nikki.
How old would Pearl be? So Pearl would be like 10 right now. You think Pearl still beats Phoenix up for looking at other women?
Yeah. Or you can call me Daddy if you like. It doesn't have to be today or anything.
Okay, Daddy!
Yeah, that was quick.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Children that can recover very quickly from emotions is not always a good sign. It essentially, long story short, children that can change really quick from can really quickly compartmentalize like problems and just like disassociate and so on and so forth. It's generally a sign that they've been doing that their entire lives. And it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
If I move here, I have to switch schools, right? And I was thinking, I haven't paid for lunches in my last school for a year.
Oh my god. This girl, man. I'm gonna be real here. Like, I don't know how it is in Japanifornia, but in America, there are programs for that. Like, if you're poor, you can eat for free. So maybe they don't have that in Japanifornia. I don't know.
So thank you, Daddy!
Yeah.
Oh, this office is a little blah. Little color goes a long way, you know. Let's get rid of Charlie.
No, don't get rid of Charlie. Yeah, you glad you had a free lunch program? Yeah, like what is it? The free lunch programs, like in a lot of schools, helped me out. It helped quite a few people out. When my parents, when I was going through a tough time, when some of my friends were going through tough times, like free lunch programs are, I mean, they're not the best, but they exist. And I mean, I don't know if Japan has that, but they're absolutely something you can do. Food stamps are a thing. Yeah, I also don't know if food stamps or like these types of things exist in Japan. Yeah, and Phoenix is taking her in despite the fact that he has no job.
Yeah.
Oh, and Daddy, you got fired from work, right?
hilarious, but it's also a terrible sign. It functionally means she's used to working. Oh, God. Druzy, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 8.5. But don't let appearances deceive you. I'm a young professional. Stick with me and you'll do just fine, Daddy.
Thanks. Why does it feel like she's already in charge?
Phoenix has never had kids, so he doesn't realize that when you have a kid, they are in charge. The parents are never actually in charge. Okay, Trucy. Wait. Hey, Charlie.
My mentor's favorite plant, Charlie. I guess watering Charlie is my only real job now.
I'm so glad Charlie made it.
Wait, I have a child now. I can't feed Trucy like that. She probably needs more than the occasional watering. At least I guess. An old movie poster hangs on the wall. Finally found out the title after not knowing for the longest time. I actually rented the movie the other day. Cried my eyes out. Just making me think about it cheers up. Wait, it's just allergies, really. I should show it to her when she's a little older. It was Joker. Wait, what was it called again? Quite the collection of law books my mentor bought all of them. I used to be too busy to read them. And now that I have time to read, guess there's no need.
Oh, I'm going to tell you guys the reality of things. See all those textbooks over there? I have never read a single one of them. Like, nobody reads textbooks from front to back. You open them for a reference, you find the formula you're looking for, and then you close it. It's like nobody actually reads the textbook. I find it interesting that it never gave Mia the name Mia in later games. I mean, I guess it makes sense for people who are starting the game at like a different point. Like maybe some people are starting at Apollo Justice. Sometimes they only ever open it one, right?
But I can't just sell them. Maybe Trucy will want to read someday. Trucy, can you read?
Yeah, I know how to write the letter A and B. I'm still learning the letter C.
Nah. My desk. Not that I have any reason to sit there. Guess Trucy can use it. Great for studying math and English and geography and magic and... I'm not crying, I just got some dust in my eye. They grow up so fast.
Me who collects books, I think about like having... I know, right?
So, Daddy, you got fired from being a warrior, right?
You can at least kind of look aside or something when you say that. It's actually kind of hard for me, for Daddy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. Wait, is that foolish pride?
Yo, this 8-year-old is grilling him.
My other daddy always used to talk about that.
Yeah, actually that's pretty accurate.
So here's my idea. We make a new office. Law is so stiff. And no one want to be my friend at school that way. Ew, you're the daughter of the lawyer. I bet you're a witch.
Well, that won't do, I guess. I just don't know anything else other than law. Or even much about law if you were to ask some people.
Oh no!
What? You think I studied legitimately? I always sat next to the smart kid during tests.
Maybe a problem of calling it an office. We should want an agency.
You mean like a talent agency? Forgive me for asking, but doesn't that require talent?
You got me. I'm a professional.
A professional?
Yep. After all, I am directly descended from the famous Zach Gregory.
Directly descended. He's your father.
Oh, and I'm directly descended from the famous Phoenix Wright.
I think an 8-year-old just massaged my ego. Can you say that again?
Oh, the famous Phoenix Wright.
What? One more time?
Oh, Phoenix Wright is so cool.
Thank you.
Phoenix totally just walked his way through the bar. Like, he was doing like a Scantron, and he was just randomly shouts, "Hold it!"
Could you tell me a bit more about Zach Gregory?
Oh, Daddy? Yeah, sure thing, Daddy.
Which daddy was that again?
Daddy's amazing. The biggest star, Chuck Gregory, and the big.
They were on television a lot, huh? Haven't seen them that much recently, come to think of it.
Big magic happens when you put Zach and Valent on together, you know? What they made a giant waterfall right there on the stage. And it only took the janitors 3 weeks to clean it up. And this giant trout slammed up the giant waterfall.
Let me guess. Was there a giant fisherman waiting for him?
I wish I could see more of Daddy's magic.
I shouldn't have brought it up so soon.
I wonder what will happen to me with Daddy and Mommy both gone.
Mommy. Yeah, what about Mommy? I haven't heard anything about Trucy's mother.
But I have magic and a great daddy, even if he is unemployed and kind of a deadbeat. You know, I think things are going to be okay.
I wonder if she'll talk about her mother. So, Trucy, you're a professional.
Yep, it's like that thing they say. Baby frogs grow up to be frogs.
But wait, aren't baby frogs just tadpoles?
They say that?
Do they say that?
I always thought it was funny though.
What was?
My baby frog's called Tad.
I'm as smart as an 8-year-old. Am I smarter than a 5th grader? The answer is no.
Maybe they thought it would be easier for kids to understand. How stupid!
Right, so, in conclusion, you're a professional magician.
That's right! I had my first show 2 weeks ago! Well, what is your trick?
You're gonna do a magic trick?
You know what? Sure, let's try to make her happy.
Actually, yeah, I'd like to see your trick. The future of the agency depends on it.
The collection of tricks that comes with doing my voicing Ace Attorney.
That's the spirit! Ready? Here goes! Ta-da!
It's Mr. Hat!
Hello, folks. It's Mr. Hat. I gotta say, it's good to be seen.
Ah! What was that? That was startling!
The amazing Mr. Hat! Isn't he great?
Your friendly neighborhood, Mr. Hat at your service.
He, certainly makes an impression.
Wait, I understand how maybe a 15-year-old was able to carry that around in her, like, little fanny pack, but how is she carrying Mr. Hat around? What the frick?
Daddy, I'm so glad you like him, Daddy.
Though my routine do get a bit heady at times. Haha, yeah, heady. Haha, ha 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 ha.
I will, for Trucy's sake, I will say, wow, that was a great pun. Haha, fantastic. This is for Trucy. This is for Trucy. Also, Trucy has an ahoge. All children are raped. She really is mad.
My friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat nearly gave me a heart attack.
Pearl benches forfeit. all children in this series bench 450. Like Pearl, and Trucy. Hey, see, she's happy now. Now we're gonna talk about her mom, which is going to be tough. Oh yeah, and Iris literally shoots people.
Could you tell me about your mom, if it's okay?
Mommy was pretty. She was like an angel on stage.
On stage, you mean with your daddy?
Yep. She was always there with Jack and Valiant smiling. But then she went away.
Went away?
It was a grand illusion. But she made a mistake. She vanished. And I guess she didn't know how to get back.
Is that what they told her? I know parents sometimes lie to their kids when they when their parents die, like, oh, daddy just went on an extended vacation, or so they gave her like a magic kind of like smoke screen, like, oh yeah, she did a vanishing trick and she has to figure out how she used to get back, but she'll figure it out.
Maybe so.
I'm quite a what? That's when Daddy gave me this. Here!
Hold the phone? Hold the... Have I been flirting with Trucy's mom? Oops, my bad, Trucy. My bad, Trucy. Hold the fuck. What is this? What is this right here? What is that? What is that? What is that? Do you have the whole picture? Can I see the full picture, please? Oh my. Oh. This is Apollo's brain. Isn't that sorry, Mom! Oh my god! Oh no! Oh no! What have I done? Oh no! Oh no! You know, it was worth it.
Is your mother? She's beautiful.
Wait, how old would she have been? So he's 15. How would he wait? Hi, Kristoff. What are you doing here? This is a shorts moment. Deceased, 8, 15. Okay, so when Apollo was 22, Lamiwa was 40, which means she had Apollo at 18. Are they maybe?
Her name's Suwasa.
I mean, then the fact that they're bickering all the time literally is the canon sibling problems.
Suwasa Kwamui.
Poor girl. I didn't know her mommy had gone missing. Now her daddy's vanished too right before her eyes.
Hey, Daddy.
We will never leave you. I swear to God, I will go wherever you are, okay? You need me to stand behind you in elementary school, I will be there. I will show up to every parent-teacher conference. I will go, every bring your dad to school day, I will go. I'm gonna be a daddy. I'm gonna be a daddy. And if I ever meet Lamiwa, I can be a daddy, if you know what I'm saying. But Trucy comes first. Trucy comes first. But I'm saying if we ever run into your mama again, we maybe you and I can break the ice. But Trucy comes first. But I bet Trucy would like a little sibling, if you know what I'm saying.
Daddy, you won't.
Don't worry. I won't vanish, I promise.
Wait! You can't even do magic! You're like a backup plan!
God damn, Trucy!
Daddy always said to have a backup plan.
I guess all I rate as is a backup plan. I'm the backup daddy. My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting... Damn it.
I think that's probably enough for today. Sorry to ask so much at once.
It's okay! After all, we're family! I just hope you're ready! The White Talent Agency opens tomorrow!
Wait, but are we representing anyone?
Me and you, that makes 2, Daddy.
I think you need more than that to make an agency.
It's okay, I'll just call my contacts in Hollywood.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we'll pitch you for DreamWorks.
Besides, you may be a magician, but I'm no talent.
Oh, I'm sure there's something you're good at.
Well, when you put it that way.
You mean you don't have any tricks? No standby? That won't do! A boy should always have a trick or two in his pocket.
Okay, I'll think of something.
Okay, I'll pitch you to Disney Pixar! See you early tomorrow, Daddy!
Welcome to the team, Daddy-O.
The team. Right.
I hope Trucy eventually has a way to vent her problems. She's gonna grow up with a lot of scars, but we'll help her get through this.
Sometimes when magicians vanish, they leave something behind. That's how Trucy became Trucy Wright, my daughter. To be honest, I was pretty lost those first few days. Thinking back on it, it was a pretty dark time in my life. But Trucy, happy and smiling Trucy, she was my light.
Oh, see, Phoenix is such a good dude. It's okay. Yeah, I heard that the next lawyer that appears is like a psychologist. I was about to say a psychopath. No, a psychologist. Okay. Well, now we're done moping. Let's get to investigating. I think Phoenix needs some closure, so let's go to back to the court once more. Yeah, I think Phoenix and Trucy. I feel, I don't know why. I always feel happy when I see daddies around their daughters. That sounds so weird when you like phrase it so explicitly. But I don't know why. It's like, if you see dads around their sons, like, here's the reality of things, like what I've seen. When my sister fell down, my dad would be like, it's okay, get back up, it's okay, you can do it, right? And when my sister, that was when my sister fell down. When I fell down, my dad would just look down at me with his arms crossed. He's like, what are you doing on the floor, kid? What, you're just gonna sit there? What, you crying? Nobody cares if you're crying, get back up. And that's just true for a lot of... That's just true kind of in general. You know, you see like a big difference between how dads treat their daughters and how dads treat their sons. And so I don't know what it is, but seeing, I don't know, like I feel like dads are very protective of their daughters. And that kind of brings me joy sometimes. Especially seeing the amount of like broken families we have nowadays. It's daddy issues. I have daddy issues. Trucy is pretty lucky. Trucy is very lucky. Like, for as unlucky as she is, Trucy is very lucky that she met Phoenix. Because by all means, her... And I don't mean this like to be like really explicit or like really like kind of I don't mean this to be like to try to like make light of the situation, but by all means Trucy's destiny without Phoenix is functionally being adopted by a criminal or something like that. Like, her destiny might have very well have been like things like prostitution. That's not even a joke. So the fact that she met, or like traffic, or like something like that, she does not, like, first of all, she's highly connected into show business, which is not necessarily a good thing, especially for children. and she doesn't have any parents, so it would not be it would be highly likely that someone would try to take advantage of the fact that she has their connections in the show business, especially in the show business. So yeah, by all means, her destiny was screwed from the start, and she was just lucky that Phoenix, who was like a normal person, adopted her. So, yeah, you know, maybe this conversation got a bit dark, but besides the point. I wanted to make a joke about Francisca. I decided not to whip out that. Okay.
Didn't think I'd be back here for a while. I didn't want to have to remember that day. Though I deeply regret having to declare a flashback, we're going to have to sit through it.
Oh, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Zack.
I'm ready to break out of prison. And today, I brought guns.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking
About this!
No one can stop me! You're in your Maya era. Man, don't do Gumshoe like that. He did his best, man. They just didn't pay him anything. He's a big boy. He needs to eat.
When I came back here on that faithful morning, still had my badge, but now it's like an amputated limb. I can still feel it itching. Shabra, where do I start? I don't even have the authority to investigate.
Hey, you there, sir. Manakyn! What are you doing here? Freaking Manakyn! What are you doing? Down on the hands! Floor on your head! No! But what's the big idea? My ears! No unauthorized personnel are allowed in here, sir! I think that was his voice. I can't imagine I gave this guy any other voice, though.
But that would mean all unauthorized personnel are allowed.
I just usually say it like it is, sir. And usually it's wrong. Thrown out of the precinct and lost my friends and my girl and even my wallet. Damn. Damn. My boy has gone through a hard life.
We've, met before, haven't we? On a case 2 years ago. You remember a little science girl?
No recollection of that, sir!
Yeah. Oh, okay.
For me, working on a case is always the present tense, sir! There is no past! Only now, sir! I want to become a splendid ninja as well! Even if I cannot use ninjutsu or genjutsu!
Okay. You're the bailiff, right?
Yes, sir! Court bailiff Mike Meek is at your service, sir! Does he not look like Rock Lee? Look at the freaking eyes and eyebrows.
I've come to meet with the bailiff of the court who let the magician escape.
Let me try to make this absolutely clear for you as possible, sir. It was me! Sir,
You were a regular police officer once.
Damn. Sometimes bad things happen to good people, sir.
Something tells me it's a long story. Let's not go there. So you were in charge of security at the time of the vanishing.
I'm dying over here! It's a hard knock life, sir. Thrown out of the precinct, lost my friends, my girl, my other girl, another girl, my man and my girl, and then even my wallet.
Guess I wasn't the only victim.
You know, we never get to examine this room, so I kind of want to do that.
You know, I think this was the lobby I used for my very first case. This plant has seen me grow from a rookie to an ace to a has-been. I hate you, plant. I'm just kidding, I love you, plant. I actually took a nap on that couch once while I was still practicing law. Then a guy beat me over the head and stole my phone. Boy, that was a mistake. I never even sit on lobby sofas.
I love how they reference that.
Never let my clients sit on them either. It's bad luck. I must have seen that painting 1,000 times, but I never really looked at it until now. Guess my head was too stuck in the trials. Never had time to stop and appreciate art. Maybe I'll get into painting. Anyway, let's appreciate. Actually, it's pretty lame. I guess this door was officially a prop in Zach Gramarie's latest show. He passed through that door lobby and vanished. But to where? He choreographed an entire faithful trial according to his grand scenario. I hate magicians.
I wonder if Zach actually planned to be declared guilty or not. All right, Meekins, tell me about yourself.
The last time we met, you were a police officer. In fact, you're still wearing your uniform.
Sir, I wish I didn't have to tell you this. But last year's tragedy struck a rising star at the precinct. But last year's tragedy struck a rising star at the precinct. What was last year's tragedy? How old am I right now? Is there a clue to how old? Oh my goodness. I don't even care that she's my mom anymore. Oh my goodness. Oh my Oh, but last year, comma, tragedy struck a rising star. I mean, was it Edgeworth? What happened in the last case? I mean, none of the prosecutors got injured. Was there a cop? Which tragedy was it? I don't know. I lost my case files 4 times in 3 days! They fired me. 4 times in 3 days? That means you lost it and found it and lost it again all in 1 day.
That takes real talent, actually. I don't know what they're missing.
This is like a few months after trials, so it would have been justice for all. I assume this happened shortly after trials and tribulations. I see. I guess he just lost the case files, so it's not like there's any indicator of which tragedy it was, or which case it was. So here I am, forced to start at square one as a lowly bailiff. Hey, you know, there is no such thing as how did the saying go? All work is good work. Even the boring jobs. That is something I learned from Ichiban Kasuga.
But your uniform.
I took it with me as a souvenir the day I was fired. I think that's illegal. That can't be legal. Exactly.
So, you were the one who let the magician get away?
I'm dying over here. A star rises among the court bailiffs, full of hope. And tragedy strikes.
Is there anything you can tell me about it? About Zach's disappearance?
All humanity.
That's enough of that. Tell me about the disappearance.
I'd say it was around 2 p.m. when I heard a commotion. I opened the door to see what might have been amiss. The door slams open. Slam! Some guy's face is right in front of me. Face!
So you saw someone suspicious coming your way.
Yes. And then being a bailiff of little standing, I gave chase. Because I wasn't standing, I was running. Meekins, I'ma murder you. I chased that silk cat all the way down the hall, sir. I have a diagram of the court building.
Oh, I have a diagram of the court building here.
Oh, hey. I didn't realize that's how the lobbies worked. I thought the lobbies were directly connected to the courtroom. I thought each courtroom had their own lobby. That's where courtroom number 7. There's courtroom number 7. That's where I was, sir. All by myself. Nary a friend to call my own. Even the blue badger hates me.
And which way did Zach run after bursting through the courtroom?
He went like this and around the corner like that. So with no delay, I ran after him. With no delay. And when I turned the corner, I saw the magician man run into the defendant lobby. I ran. Following him, I threw myself boldly into the room. I remember it like I was right here. Because it was! Number 2 lobby, sir!
You ran into this room? I don't see any place to hide in here.
Believe it or not, sir, I didn't believe it. Here, in this room, the magician gone! Vanished like a puff of smoke! Except there wasn't even any smoke, he just... gone!
That's impossible.
Yeah, that word. How many times have I said that word? Even the sound of it causes me pain. I'm dying.
Okay, I won't say it again. But you have to admit, it's difficult to vanish into thin air. You searched the lobby.
I searched.
By the pause.
There was nothing here at all, sir! That's right! Nothing!
How can he talk so loud and still be hiding something? So, Zach was in the room when he vanished.
Absolutely, sir! I saw it with my own eyes and ears, sir! Even though I can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu! The red silk hat! The flowing cape! He ran! Right in here! Right inside this room!
Hat, cape, and Zach, all right.
But sir, look at the room! Not a single place to hide! There was nothing I could do! Nothing!
What about now? Have any ideas?
Sir? Ideas about what exactly, if you don't mind me asking, sir?
You've had quite a bit of time since then. 2 weeks. Has nothing occurred to you? Do you have any idea what trick he used to disappear?
Oh, it's been a while, baby!
Ooh, ooh.
Let's bust down some locks, baby.
I should have known.
My magical alien tech I got from my alien daughter, Maya.
One of my most prized possessions.
Which I got during a certain case. It can show me the locks on people's hearts. And if I could unlock their hearts...
And if I can change their hearts, you'll never see it coming. They'll tell me their secrets. The Magatama starts it all. And the Magatama ends it all. Except I can't use it on women while I'm around Pearl. I mean, to be fair, Jack Frost kind of looks like the Blue Badger. All right, let's grill this man a steak. Okay, Mr. Meekins. What do you know? Spit it out.
Hey, what's with the atmosphere all of a sudden?
That's right. You're in my zone now. You know something, and I'm gonna find out what. Zach Gramery vanished. How'd he do it?
Oh, sir, well, I can't say it. Sir.
Sometime in the future, you'll meet a kid named Apollo who can access the zone. But this isn't just a zone to me. This is the world!
I mean, at this point, Phoenix has probably mastered it. He turns the entire world black. Well, you see, at the time, sir, I was here and... Listen, it was impossible. Look at such a little girl Little girl?
What'd you just say?
Sir, did I just say something, sir? That's funny, sir.
No, you screamed it through the megaphone. There was someone else in the room, wasn't there?
Sir, I'm gonna have to invoke my right to remain in a state of not talking. That's the 8th Amendment, sir.
That's the 5th Amendment. That's why they call it pleading the 5th.
Look, I got kicked out of the police. I don't know these things.
It's okay, Meekins. You don't have to tell me who Zach's accomplice was. I know who it was. I knew it. It was Kristoff all along.
Man, can you imagine getting beaten by an 8-year-old? All the grown men in this game are being destroyed by a freaking 8-year-old. We got Meekins, we got Phoenix, we got Panty Man. Well, I guess Trucy was 15 when she destroyed him. Well, Panty Man. Man, Trucy's just out here she's like a man. She's a man killer. I've never seen that girl until just the other day.
Mr. Meekins, I'm not buying it. And I have lots of spending money.
No, you don't, sir. Don't rub it in. Good phrase. I was going to say man-eater, but then I realized man-eater has other connotations, so I was going to say man-killer, but that's pretty much the same connotation, isn't it? Sir! Sir, that day, she was here in the room, sir, but she wasn't.
You mean you chased her into this room? Not him.
Sir? In my days as a police officer, I literally did. Yo, I feel so bad for this guy. I learned a thing or two. Okay, just one thing. But it was not how to mistake a girl for a 7-foot-tall magician. Yo, was Shoddy that big? He was pretty tall.
7 feet? Zach isn't that tall, is he? You have a point. I find it hard to imagine that anyone would mistake a little girl for Zach Gramery. Unless that little girl was really buff! But you saw something. And therein lies the trick. You see, Trucy benches 450. I think you know what it was, Mr. Meekins. Tell me, does this trick look familiar?
What's that?
That girl's favorite trick. The amazing Mr. Hat. She uses it at her show down.
Wait, so it's canon that she started working at the Wonder Bar when she was 8? I hope the Wonder Bar isn't actually a bar, because that means she's doing shows for drunk dude. Actually, I can totally believe that. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I suddenly had a really terrible image in my head, and I know I shouldn't share it. But no, I'm going to keep it to myself. Because Trucy's life is kind of miserable. So it wouldn't surprise me that Trucy is working at essentially a bar. So, and that sucks. I just feel awful for Trucy, man. It's like, I don't know if that's the implication of her working at the Wonder Bar, but it's like, man, Trucy deserves better, man. No kid deserves a bad childhood. I don't know what their implications of Trucy's character is, but I wonder if, like, her character is representative of something like the ails of show business, because I just feel really bad for her.
Have you been to the Wonder Bar?
So, it definitely is considering a case in Spirit of... Are you talking about what I'm saying about Trucy? It wasn't a waking dream, was it, sir?
Come again?
That night on stage? Like her being a representation of showbiz? Yeah, I figured. I figured that's what they were going for, but I didn't want to say it because it's kind of... It's dirty. Let's just say it's dirty. Show business is very dirty. Like, okay, let's be real here. You can't... It is an industry built on people's hopes and dreams. You cannot build a big industry on hopes and dreams without the practicality of things getting in the way. And the more... Let's put it this way. Did you know the culprit is 35 and did stuff with a 19-year-old? God damn. Okay. You know... Yeah, let's try not to get too many spoilers. Yeah, but let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that. I don't have too much of a problem with that because generally the culprits are pretty obvious in these games. But let's stop there. But regardless, you can't build... Okay, so did you know I actually had an opportunity to be a child actor when I was a kid? For those of you who don't know, I actually don't really talk about this. I actually had an opportunity to be a child actor. And I was going to be in commercials and stuff like that. And my dad and my mom was like, "Oh, it's so cute. He should be a child actor." And my dad stopped him. My dad took me out of show business. He's like, "No, I'm not going to let him do that. Not until he's at least graduated college or something like that. And, you know, at the time I was like, Dad, why not? I want to be on TV. I want to be famous, and so on and so forth. You know, now that I'm older, I'm very much thankful for my father for taking me out of that. And mostly because, you know, now that I am back like halfway into entertainment, in terms of voice acting, I realize that the more people hope and the more people have wishes and dreams, the more people appear who can take advantage of them. And that occurs a lot all the time. And so you see, especially, you know, you guys have seen some of the children's stuff that has been coming out lately for like places like Nickelodeon for like children actors and stars and stuff like that. Yeah. You see some pretty nasty crap. And a lot of it is just considered status quo. Now that you're older, you had some comments about how you'd be popular on TV. Oh, I see. Yeah. Like, and a lot of that stuff is status quo because it's impossible to enforce. Because let's just say, let's just do an example, and this is kind of getting into a deep conversation, but let's just do an example. If a man says, oh, I'll give you the part to some actress, right? I'll give you the part, but you have to sit on a couch with me. Let's just use nice language, right? It's within that woman's prerogative to say, okay, I'll sit on the couch with you and then you give me the part, right? So it's impossible to enforce this type of thing. But, you know, the more people are hopeful, the more people will appear to take advantage of that. And the more people hope, the more they're willing to be taken advantage of. And I'm not saying don't have dreams, but I'm saying, you know, you have to be able to balance the dreams with a level of reality, which is, you know, I suspect this is what they're getting at with Trucy, right? Trucy is this, you know, child magician star who performs at a bar, and one of her biggest tricks is showing off her panties, which led a guy to become a panty thief. It's like, like, I'm not sure, like, I don't know if you guys realize this, you know, I pray she hasn't sat on the couch either. I don't think Phoenix would let her. But let's think of it like this. You know, now that I'm thinking back, and I know this is like maybe a little bit too deep of a conversation for a kidsy game like Phoenix Wright, but they sometimes have mature themes. And I think about, now that I think back at the things that Trucy said, I know I ad-libbed some stuff, but the very first thing she said was, I'm Phoenix Wright's sugar daddy. And I thought that was like a throwaway joke. Right? But then she continues to say things like, oh, I didn't realize you were so interested in my panties and stuff like that. And like, she feels so comfortable making these kind of like seductive and suggestive commentary at her age. And, you know, even as an 8-year-old, maybe, although a little bit less, it makes me realize that maybe she really is a commentary. Like, I bring back the panty joke just kind of to have fun with it, but the game also brings back the panty joke quite a bit, right? So it's like, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Maybe that's the point. You know, I always say, writing, sometimes the writer doesn't always have to understand it. Maybe the writer thought, oh, Trucy is the type of person who would probably just keep bringing back the panties joke because it's funny and it gets laughs. But maybe that's because that's how the writer saw show business, right? Like somebody who's willing to do anything to get laughs or to get entertainment or to make the crowd, to please the crowd or be happy. And didn't she say that she performs to a mostly male audience? Or was that a comment? I think she said at some point at the Wonder Bar she performs to mostly a male audience. Yeah, so she said some really suggestive stuff. And at the time I thought, oh, that's kind of silly, but the writer's just trying to make an adult joke and play it off as haha, that's funny. But maybe this is actually the representation that the writer was going for. Or maybe he didn't even realize that he was going for this representation and it just naturally came out, which is the fact that Trucy has lived a very troubled life. And so she's become almost, what's the word? Like when you're so used to something, desensitized. She's become so desensitized to making sexual jokes to please fans that she just naturally does it. Like the way she, for example, I was just thinking of the way she talks to Little Plum. Like it's like so comfortable. Like she's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to make you laugh and make you happy." Yeah, I'll have to go back and review some of the things she says, but I wonder if that's the actual representation that the writer was, or that ended up being coming out. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes writing ends up being more truthful than the writer even realizes. Like maybe all the awkward things, some things hit different in retrospect. Yeah, I know, right? You think it's her coping mechanism? Yeah, exactly, right? And she sees, oh, my panties are making the crowd happy, so I'll use that trick more, right? Damn, she's had a rough life. I just want to give her a hug and let her, like, I want to buy her an ice cream and just let her enjoy an ice cream. That sounds so weird. I don't even, I think you guys know what I mean. Like, she deserves to have, like, a moment where she can just be a kid. Oh, man. Anyway, I've thoroughly depressed myself, but let's continue. At night. It's you with Gina. Yeah, Gina too. I don't know. Maybe the writer seems to like depicting children in really difficult situations. Especially young girls. I know that sounds creepy. I don't mean it to be creepy. But yeah. Maybe they had troubled childhood. I mean, but who hasn't had a troubled childhood? But it's also nice to be able to write it in a real way, you know? So I think this game does a good job of that. So anyway. That night on stage, I saw a vision. Except it wasn't a vision. It was a hat! An amazing Mr. Hat! Oh yeah, Regina with her dad too, huh? Susato and her father. We don't even know what happened to her mother too. Not to mention Susato's friend / lover. I don't know what her relationship with Kazuma is, but he died. Iris with her dad, Gina with literally everything. Yeah. I remember it clearly, though the details are a little vague. Zach Grabbery exited the courtroom. Are they not lovers? I don't know. I don't know what the implication is. Zach Grabbery exited the courtroom. Wait. Susato and Kazuma are siblings? Aren't Susato Miko Toba, right? Oh, Kazuma was adopted? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I see. I had no idea who was adopted. Anyway, okay, so even worse, not just she lost like some friend or some lover. She lost her brother. So yeah. Yeah, she lost her brother in that. Man. I gave chase and cornered him in the corner room, sir? Mr. Zach Gravery, don't even think you can escape! Manakyn! Down on your hands! Floor on the head! Hello?
Hello, mister! Something the matter?
No, that is... Do you have the ability to transform into a really buff 7-foot-tall man?
No.
Sir, I'm currently chasing a suspect. Zach Gravery, do you know him?
Oh, I love Zach Grimley. His magic's the best. I'm his biggest fan.
I see. Oh, that's why you're wearing the costume. Oh, you're so cute. Anyway, I gotta arrest your idol.
But no one's here except for me.
Why are you even in this room? Why are you in the defendant lobby?
I took a walk.
Oh, okay. But he has to be in here. Under the sofa? In the trash can? Behind the painting? Under the rug? Wait, lift up your hat. Nope, he's not here.
So, he wasn't in the little girl's hat, was he?
Imagine my astonished surprise when 1 week later, I happened to walk into a bar and see him.
Mr. Hat.
I couldn't believe my own eyes. For a while, I thought it'd been just a long dream.
Dream that lasted a week?
But it wasn't the magician who disappeared. It was Mr. Hat.
Though it seems complex, what really happened that day was really simple.
Oh, I bet you this is what happened. He ran down the hall, went into lobby number 1. Then, Trucy took out Mr. Hat and poked him out of lobby number 2. And so Meekins saw Mr. Hat running into lobby number 2 and thought that was Zach. And so once Manakyn was inside lobby number 2 searching for Zach, Zach could come out of lobby number 1 and escape. Honestly, kind of a simple trick. But, I mean, sometimes the tricks don't need to be complicated.
Oh, though it seems really complex, what happened was quite simple. You were standing by the door and out came Zach. But that wasn't all. Another person got in on the act, and she was standing in front of lobby number 2.
Oh, Little Hat!
Along with Mr. Hat. And that's the beauty, isn't it? So, while you were standing in shock and amazement, the magician rounds the corner, and most likely runs into the closest door, into lobby number 1. This is where you come in. You turn the corner in rather lukewarm
Damn, don't do Meekins like that. He's suffering enough.
And at that very moment, Trucy runs into lobby number 2. Then all she has to do is tuck away the amazing Mr. Hat.
Sir, I only lost sight of it for the bravest of moments. And then I saw the cape. Zach Gravery's red cape fluttering like a cape. Astounding, sir! All my days of posing queries and making inquiries and chasing queries wasted. And it was as if I could see them melting away. Like an ice cream cone left by the side of the road to die. On the scattered remains of a messily eaten chocolate parfait.
Such sweet sorrows. Sorry. Had no idea how much you suffered on account of this case.
It's an honor, sir. I've apologized to people many, many times. Sometimes more than once. But this is the first time anyone's ever apologized to me.
Actually, about the girl. I'm, sort of her guardian now.
That's so. Oh, sir, you should know that I harbor no evil feelings whatsoever to your daughter. Your daughter is cute, and she will grow up to be a fine woman in the court of law.
She's a magician.
In the court of show business.
Okay.
That response is great. I think this is the best response you could ever give to anyone. Just
Okay.
it's so apathetic. I let the defendant escape, and that's the stone cold Steve Austin truth. Another step on my way from singing the blues to wearing the blues. Someday, I'll be standing side by side with the great Detective Gumshoe.
That's right. Put some respect on my boy. Mr. Meekins, here's a free ticket to the show at the Wonder Bar. If you want.
It's an honor, sir. It's an honor. The amazing Mr. Hat. He brings tears to my eyes. I still can't count the number of things I've taken from me, sir. But no one's ever given me anything for free. I'll see you in court next time then, sir.
I look forward to it. Shabra. All eyes were on Zach Gramarye that day in court, until his mysterious disappearance. Now part of the mystery's been revealed, but the magicians remained out of sight. It'll be 7 years before I meet him again. Until then, I better practice piano.
What games have I played? So I've played. Oh, hello. Can we go back? I've played Ace Attorney 1, Ace Attorney 2, Ace Attorney 3. Apollo is Ace Attorney 4. I have played Great Ace Attorney 1. I want to play the Miles Edgeworth game because everyone loves Miles Edgeworth. I've also played Danganronpa's 1, 2, and V3. I've also watched 3, and that was weird. Let's head to the detention center, maybe? Wait, why do we even need to go? What are we doing there? Maybe Drew Meekum? No, Drew wouldn't be there. He got a he has immunity, right? Is that what immunity is? Oh, Valen, of course. What a strange sight doth mine eyes behold!
Excuse me.
Two men on either side of a single transparent plane. Yet it seems fickle. Fate has switched sides, so to speak. The forger of fakes walks freely, while the innocent languishes within these plexiglass confines. To be fair, Phoenix should be in jail. I don't know. I actually don't know.
There's no proof that I forged it.
There's also no proof that he shot him. Nor proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Exactly. But maybe since the crime is more severe, they're more likely to detain him. I don't know. Yet these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you?
Fatherhood. A little piano in a cold hole in the wall.
But since you are here, What shall we discuss?
The shooting of Manakyn Grammary, for one. Who pulled that trigger? Valent or his partner Zach? His partner vanished before the answer could be found. If I'm going to get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start.
First, we gotta say hi to our friend.
That guard keeps stealing glances in this direction. And scratching his head. Maybe our resident magician showed him a trick or two.
Hey, guard.
Yo, what's up, Phoenix? Sorry about what happened. Yeah, it's all good, guard. Up top, bro. Yeah. You take care of yourself, guard. You too, Phoenix.
I have to hand it to my partner. He knows how to make an exit. That's talent.
Yeah.
He made my attorney's badge disappear, and he never even touched it. A glory's spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows. Damn. Let Valent cook, man. Valent's spittin'. God damn. The spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows. I'm gonna remember that. You guys, oh, there's a fly over here. Do you guys remember Raincode? Who was the normal detective? What did he say? Something like, when someone up in the tower is laughing, someone at the bottom is weeping, or something like that. Man, that is... Yet his very disappearance is itself a revelation.
Revealing what?
Zach Grammary killed Manakyn. Do you really believe that? It's as good as a signed confession. Boy, you... Remember, the court of law is not the same thing as the court of public opinion. In the court of law, if you plead the fifth, you're like, okay, well, I don't want to testify on that, and that's that. In the court of public opinion, if you plead the fifth, everyone will say you're guilty. And you have to remember, wanting to remain silent is not the same thing as confessing. It's very different.
That's certainly been the public opinion's take on it.
See, Phoenix gets how Twitter works. I grow tired of my cage. The time of my release is near. I must go and prepare.
Planning on jumping back into magic right away?
As long as an audience waits with bated breath, there will be Valent. And also...
Yes?
I'm gonna grow a mustache! Now that my partner has disappeared, Manakyn's repertoire is mine. Well, not for another 7 years. Sorry about that. Valent Grammary has a tradition to uphold.
Is that true?
See, in the light, the trial was quite good to me. See, in this light, the trial was quite good to me. Verdict or no. And you can't pay for that kind of publicity. You know what they say, all publicity is good publicity. Right? People were talking about how Mr. Beast was taking advantage of children, and now nobody cares. No one's talking about it anymore. And Mr. Beast probably got a lot of views from that, so all publicity really is good publicity, as long as you know how to handle it.
The suspicion is on you hasn't lifted entirely, Valent. After all, you received one of those letters too. You were just as obligated to follow Manakyn's instructions.
So I was. But only Zach Grammary followed them. Let us not speak any more of who shot what. Like, this is an impossible case to solve. I'm going to be honest, this is kind of an impossible case to solve. The time frame is within minutes. Not necessarily. If we had... Okay, so let's play this out in our heads. According to Zach, and let's assume Zach's statement on the pistols was correct. Right? If there were 2 pistols, the ballistic markings on the bullets would differ, and then we would know that they came from 2 different guns. Right? We know that this gun matches this guy's thing, unless I remember something about what's his name, Clavier saying that he changed that evidence because he thought he was Edgeworth, but I don't remember exactly. But supposedly, this bullet is in his head. So this gun matches this bullet, which means this bullet doesn't match that, which means the other gun is missing, right? But we don't have any proof that, what's his name? What is it? Zach could have fired one gun and then fired the other gun at him, at his mentor. So functionally, that is also a possibility. The question we have to ask is, who fired this specific bullet? The gun is here, open to the public. So literally, anyone could have come in, grabbed the gun, and shot him. It's impossible to solve. The time frame isn't clear enough. The IV bag was manipulated, but just because he manipulated the IV bag doesn't make him guilty of the crime. Which means we don't even know if somebody walked out. We don't even know if somebody came in that's completely unrelated and shot him. Right? I have no idea. We have absolutely no idea which one is correct. So it's like functionally, this is an impossible case to solve. Right? It's like, if you throw the fire grenades, who threw the poison bottle? We don't know. Functionally. I guess we need to ask Nagito. But then again, this wasn't luck either. Even in the Nagito case, if it was based on luck, they could rely. But this isn't based on luck. Somebody willingly shot him. We just don't know who it was. It was God? I mean, it might as well be. Let's be real here. You can't solve the case. So everyone is going to live under the stigma of possibly having shot him. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, let's just be perfectly honest. It's possible that it wasn't either of them. It could have been some random doctor who walked in and shot him. We don't know. There's also a bullet in the clown's head. Yeah, and we know that the gun from the clown's head, supposedly, now that everything has been fully analyzed, let's suppose what Zach said was correct. But I don't know. Maybe Zach really did it. We don't know. We don't know the answer. Like, nobody does. The only person who knows the answer is the person who shot him. Sometimes, no matter how much reasoning and deduction you can make, you can't make a perfect judgment. Yeah, there's no blood. I also noticed that there's no blood, but they never really explained that. Like, I expected that to come up, but it never actually came up. Although maybe having blood dripping down from someone's forehead might be too gruesome to show. So maybe that's why they didn't show it. Or maybe they should have just made it pink. I think they just don't like adding a lot of blood. I mean, yeah, maybe that's why. Just make the blood pink. But let us not speak anymore of who shot what. Now my partner has vanished. The question is moot.
I'm more interested in learning something else, actually.
What might that be?
I want to know what Magnifi had up his sleeve. How could he coerce you and your partner to kill him?
Ah, the trick up its sleeve. What about the IV needle? Why is it just sitting there? The syringe too? What's up with that? Who knows? Yeah, exactly, right? There's like a million reasons to explain away everything. And there's not enough... And like, it's not set up clear enough to actually know. And who was phone? Who's on first? Kinda. It is pretty much who was first. Who's on first? Perhaps you do not know.
Know what?
A great magician never reveals his secrets. Alright, let's bust down his... That's a lot of change. Oh my god. Alright.
Welcome to the zone.
Where am I? Are you a magician too? What is this place? Where'd the guard go? Oh my god! I swear there was one with 5. I forgot which one was 5. There were a few of them with 5. Didn't, I wonder which ones had 5. I remember there were a few of them throughout the series that had 5. Bikini had 5? Ah, Bikini. Good times.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one.
Haha, you should grow wings.
There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm gonna find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world.
Right, he was gonna die in a few minutes. Not in a few minutes, like a few weeks maybe? Maybe a month? Like he had cancer, right?
That's asking someone to commit murder.
Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. And he got his...
Oh, and he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness could be so powerful as to coerce someone into murder?
I don't think I have all the evidence. Well, if I don't, I'll just see how far I can get.
I guess it was a matter of life or death.
You can't explain.
Your troop lived in a world of showmanship. Flashier, the better. Flashy so often means danger.
Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have proof of this danger, then show it. We don't have proof of the danger. I suspect it has something to do with the lasso, though. If you guys remember, they apparently said there was a trick called the shoot-up or something like that. Zack and Valen's shoot-up or something like that. Or a hold-up or something. And then they said after a certain time they stopped performing it. Right? We know that these guns are deadly. They can actually kill a man. Is it possible that the reason why... Well, if Thalassa really is Lamiwa, if Thalassa was Lamiwa, maybe they shot her in the eyes? Like, maybe they only use rubber bullets. It's possible they only use rubber bullets. But a rubber bullet in your eye will blind you. But I don't think we have the proof of the danger. I just think we know who the victim was.
so I don't think we can do this just yet. I may not have enough evidence right now. Let's pull back. Let's do a little bit more work with my legs. It's leg day, baby. Is it an inquiry, maybe? Gotta get those squats in at the art studio.
There's a stupid fly that just keeps buzzing around. Ugh, get out of here.
Drew Studio.
He walked into the door like a normal person. And as I thought, I figured you'd come here sooner or later.
I decided on sooner. Drew Measham. Was it?
He was on to me, even though I literally confessed everything I had done to him. But I haven't done anything illegal. Did he do anything illegal? I can't think of whether or not he did something illegal. If someone asked him, if you guys remember, if he knew he was forging evidence, it's possible. But if made forged evidence, but did he know? Did he know? Is he complicit in the crime? Right? If you sell a gun to someone who says, I'm going to use this gun to shoot people, you can be held accountable. But if you sell a gun to someone who is like a perfectly normal person and he's like, I'm going to use this rifle for hunting or something like that, then it's not, you can't, it's difficult to hold them accountable. Now, you can certainly argue that maybe he didn't do a good job checking, but, you know, it's the same thing here, right? Did he know? Was he complicit? And if he wasn't complicit, could you argue that he didn't do his diligence in checking? I don't know.
And I didn't come here to whine about past events. I wanted to ask you some questions.
I suppose you have that right. And he did indeed have that right. That day, the entire court descended into chaos. Only you stood still, your eyes watching calmly. You were like a deer in the headlights, only the headlights were me. I admit, it made quite an impression on me, and I was not very impressionable.
I'm used to finding myself in outrageous situations.
Phoenix Wright, was it? I'll answer what I can.
I'm not sure, but feels like I'm being watched intensely.
Oh, look at this little angel. Don't worry, we'll protect you. We'll protect you, and I really hope she recovers from her poisoning. Look at her little notepad. She even has a bear notepad.
I started her young. First, I had her draw pictures of Phoenix and Edgeworth. But pretty soon, she was drawing pictures of Klapalo. She's only 12. Oh, look at this little cutie. Oh, that's Meekins. This is my daughter. She is what you might call a hikikomori and a fujoshi. Say hello, Vera. Oh. She bites her nails, too. She bites her nails. Oh no. That's how they poisoned her. That has to be how they poisoned her. The poison only lasts for 15 minutes. The poison activates after 15 minutes, right? So, sometime between the court starting, the poison was administered to her after the court started, and she had no contact with anyone, supposedly. And so the only way, or maybe she bit it until maybe she bites it until she bleeds, in which case there's an open wound, and that also could allow poison in. But what I was thinking is if there was poison on her fingers, she would be ingesting the poison every time she bites her nails, little by little. And the first time we saw her bite her nails was pretty late into the trial, when she started getting nervous. And do you know what she did when she started getting nervous? She has two habits when she gets nervous. Number one, she bites her nails. And number two, she puts on nail polish. Oh my God. Oh my. Someone poisoned her nail polish. That has to be how she got poisoned. That's the only thing that makes sense. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm realizing this in this big flashback, but still. Oh my God. I didn't think of it at the time, but... She's gone. If someone chews their lips and uses chapstick. I mean, but to be fair, chapstick is very close to the mouth already. Shall we begin then? Look around. Man, this looks like an art studio. Oh, they still have the machine. Maybe I'll just sidle on over here for a closer look. First, we gotta look at this because it's adorable. Watching you realize all this stuff. Ah! Is this you and Vera? Yes, we took that one quite recently. And you didn't think to, clean off your face in your suit to take this picture? No, it gives me character. I'm a painter. I know, I'm a painter. Why not paint a portrait instead? I've never been that good at people, unfortunately. That's why I'm teaching Vera to be an edgy girl and put on eye patches on every single character she draws. Shouldn't you practice? That's an awfully small frame. What's inside that? A stamp? Ah, please don't touch that. I'll get in trouble. That stamp belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. That's Zach and... Vera definitely has a Mary Sue edgy Alicorn OC. She's so frequents Tumblr and says, "Do not steal my OC." That's Zach and Valent, isn't it? The post office issued that commemorative stamp last year, when the Grammarys were at the height of their popularity.
Not anymore.
Honestly, why would anyone show up for these two dorks? Let's be real here. There's only one star that actually matters right here. Oh my goodness. I don't care if you my mommy. I'm just saying, you can be my mommy and my mommy. Oh! And one of them has vanished off the face of the earth. Two of them, actually. Vera went to see one of their shows when she was quite small. She's been dedicated fan ever since. Some people like men. Who likes men? Okay? Literally, come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. Would you rather be with this beautiful princess or this disgusting mustache? Let's be real here. Let's be real here. You got a princess. You got sideburns. Come on. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. Get with the program. Get with the program. She's been a dedicated fan ever since. She watched them every time they came on TV. Till the end.
I see. Stamp's quite hard to come by.
Oh, that stamp's quite hard to come by, I hear. I still wonder how she got her hands on it. What, do you not read her mail? Oh, I'm gonna be real here. Every parent should read their child's mail. I know that sounds like, oh, it's an invasion of privacy. No, it's called frickin' parenting.
What's this red envelope?
Nah, don't touch that. Depends on how old they are. 12, I'd say you still read their mail. 30, maybe not. It's quite important. Someone gave her the stamp, the poison. Yeah, they were trying to kill. I don't know if they were trying to kill Drew or Vera. They were trying to kill one of them, and that's not cool.
The painter's face just changed hues.
From a aquamarine to a
sturgeon salmon.
Look, I don't do art, okay?
I guess I better behave. Though it is tempting to just grab it. That's a pretty bottle.
Ah, don't touch that, please. I'll get in trouble. It belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. She looks at it often.
There's a light pink fluid inside.
Phoenix was an art major, but he probably did... He probably majored in, like, sculpting.
Nail polish, I'm guessing.
Oh, look. That's the Gramarye troop symbol. Or that's their last name. Gros-Qua. What does Gros-Qua mean?
There's some finished painting stacked here. They don't look that bad, really.
I'll sell you one for 50 cents. You know what they say, true artists starve. I guess Drew is one of those true artists. How about $50? How about $50? It's rough, you know. People who pursue their passions, they don't make that much money. $50? You know what? 100. 100.
That's okay. They look kind of heavy.
Oh. Phoenix. How frickin' dense can you be?
Maybe he needs to work on his sales technique of it.
I mean, I'm going to be real with you guys. 90% of the art industry or the theater industry or the music industry is business, right? It's almost all business. you know, you wonder, oh, why are so many of the people at the top of the art industry jerks? It's because they're not really artists, they're businessmen. That's why. The real artists, like true, like there's a whole bunch of reasons why people say true artists starve. That's one of the reasons. There's lots of reasons why. But you know, it's when people say true artists starve, it's more a commentary on like the larger part of society. But one thing I do hate, is how every oh wait, you know what? That's actually a great example. Every YouTuber wants to be a rapper. And they sell a whole bunch of copies of their rap. But does that mean they're really good musicians? No, it's because they're famous already. Right? There's a perfect example. A lot of artists undersell themselves. You know what they say, right? Smart people know they know nothing, while dumb people think they know everything. I don't think I said that right, but you guys get the point, right? So the people who aren't that good will have lots of confidence in what they do. Whereas the people who are really, really good, they're like, I could have done that better. That didn't work. It's like, yeah. I believe they call that the Dunning-Kruger effect. How people who are underskilled don't realize they're underskilled because they don't have the skills to realize that they're underskilled.
You use these gizmos for painting? You're pretty elaborate.
Ah, those. Those aren't for painting, they're for analyzing. Because you do forgeries. Paint composition, age, every conceivable angle.
Tools of the forgery trade, I guess.
Yeah, you see a lot of these machines for like in preservation galleries, like where they're trying to preserve paintings and stuff. But because don't forget, everything goes bad, including paint. Right? Things rot. Not all paint was made of lead.
Paints and pigments are lined up on the shelves. Some noticeable gaps.
It's embarrassing, but I can't afford all the paints I want. I insist on buying the ones I use with my own money.
I can see how you'd want to do that, sure.
Perhaps you've heard that you can make any color, as long as you have the 3 primary colors. Well, it's a lie.
Poor guy.
Going home by any chance?
No, I was just checking out the door.
No.
Good thing I'm far too stubborn to take hints like that.
Look, noticeably, he doesn't have a, Oh, is this a different studio? No, it can't be a different studio. It's too similar. But they still have this. I remember there was a, mailbox right here, right?
What's this painting here?
That's one of mine. It's an illustration for the book. It's not on sale yet, of course, but I thought it might be good business. As a father, I'd like to be able to put food on my daughter's table.
Not a feeling I know anything about. At least not yet.
Damn, guys.
Paints are scattered all around.
Probably the one he's currently using. Something very artistic about a messy room.
Not that this is anything compared to my office. Guess that would make my office a masterpiece.
No, do not follow the footsteps of Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock was not an artist, he was a scammer. Like I said, right? Art is business. Art is entirely business. Jackson Pollock, he was a good businessman. What can I say? For those of you who don't know who Jackson Pollock is, I say it every once in a while. He was the guy who splashed paint on a canvas and sold it for millions of bucks.
Judging from this place, you're a painter.
Not, sadly, a profitable one. I've never sold a painting. It's a source of considerable embarrassment. I would be able to get by if it were only me. I mean, Phoenix did go to art school. I mean, yeah, fair enough. And then he decided to go into the legal business because he realized how unprofitable it was. Your daughter. I mean, who's the mom? Who's the mom? Her mother grew weary of me. I wish I hadn't asked that. Why are there so many deadbeats in this freaking series? I know, right? There's so many characters have lost their parents some one way or another. That's rough, buddy. I don't want her to grow up needy. I'm going to be honest. Being poor isn't necessarily a bad thing. I feel like there's so many rich people who take everything for granted. That's why I began my other occupation. Forgeries. Don't look at me with those eyes. I know what it is that I do. More than half the paintings they bring me here are stolen. And who knows what my copies are used for. But some of your works aren't paintings. You may not believe me when I tell you this, but that was my first work outside of painting. What? I mean, forging evidence isn't the same thing as a painting, right? Fundamentally, a perfect copy of a piece of evidence doesn't really have that much effect on the judgment, right? Like, you'd have to copy it in a way that isn't... You'd have to change some things around if you want it to help you in an illegal way, right? I mean, I suppose you can say this piece of evidence was found in a different place, but that's about the limit you could do with a perfect copy. To think it would be used as evidence in a murder trial. I never even imagined the possibility. Then why did you take the job? I was well paid. Very well paid. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And I can't say Drew was greedy. He needs to feed his daughter. He doesn't sell anything. His job is not successful. I mean, maybe he could, I suppose the responsible thing to do is to get a different job, but I feel like Drew's kind of a mess, mentally. I think he feels worse about this than I do. Past is hard to escape. Why is Phoenix such a good person? All these people wronged you, and he cares more about them than he does himself. Phoenix, please take care of yourself, man. You got a daughter now. The sooner I put this behind me, the better. With apologies to you, of course. Sorry, but it's not gonna be quite so easy. He's trying to forget what he's made. I'll have to remind him. Oh. Your work. Don't try to pretend you've forgotten. Sure, all you did was make a copy. But that copy destroyed the life of an innocent man. I'm responsible too. Which is why I have to know. And you have to tell me. I knew it'd be difficult to escape this. And let's talk.
Well then, ready to tell me about the work.
It was unlike anything I had attempted before. I guess it would be a little
different from paintings.
It's not what I meant. In all my previous works, it sufficed to create a copy.
This wasn't a copy.
The client gave me 2 things that day. The first was a sample page as reference. The second, a printed document I can only surmise was written by my client. His hair kind of does look like a paintbrush, you're right.
So you used the real writing as a reference to reproduce what the client wrote.
Yes. As I said, it was my first job of the nature.
So, who was your client?
As I said in court, I do not know.
Really? Even for such a suspicious request? If it was me, I'd want to know as much about the requester as I could.
I never met them. Not personally. There it is.
Of course. Seems like you're still hiding something about this work.
Unk. Let's chat.
Welcome to the zone. Let's hear it then. What are you hiding from me, Mr. Measham?
I'm sorry, but I really don't know. I've never met the client.
True. When I asked the client's name, there were no Cyclops in sight.
You like the animation? I really like the animation when there are 5 locks because they're like just chains flying everywhere.
Regardless, you're hiding something. You have to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't make any sense.
Why are you doing this to me?
I've made my stand. No backing down. So what's he hiding? I can pretty much piece together what you've said.
What is it then?
You told me what you knew about the client, and I couldn't see any Cyclops.
Is that some sort of asylum security or a new hairstyle?
Yes, these are called Psych Spikes, and what you have there are Cyclops. But then they didn't wait,
is Phoenix really talking about Cyclops to this guy?
No. Who was your client?
Is this flashback really necessary? It happened like 3 minutes ago.
Really? It is necessary. So tell me, who was your client?
I never met them, not personally.
Not personally. Those words triggered the Cyclops.
Is he using his superpowers to reason for his superpowers? Because that's impressive. That's some Halara nightmare level reasoning. Again with the psycho locks. I must really know what they are. I think the only other person who knows about the Cyclops besides the Faze and Phoenix is Edgeworth. I think. Yeah, Phoenix has shared his superpowers with Edgeworth before. It's canon, we ship them. But someone else did.
Maybe the real forger behind the evidence.
And how do you know this? Is it because you're from the future and you saw what happened in 7 years?
Actually, yeah, that's exactly why.
But I'm afraid you lost me.
Yeah, well, didn't come here to talk about Cyclops.
It was just an edge case. I hate this. The rules are if you want to be a lawyer, there are 2 requirements to be a lawyer: superpowers and gay. And your conclusion is?
The real forger behind this wasn't you, Mr. Measham.
Bucky Puppycock. I don't know what you're talking about. It's my work, I tell you. I made it here in my studio.
Who else could it have been but me? I'm glad you asked. That's the real question, isn't it? If the forger wasn't you, I don't have many other people to choose from. The real forger is...
You know, you have to remember, not everyone is a lawyer here. So not everyone knows how to argue. Like Phoenix does. Hello, darling. I am so sorry for this. Currently on trial? Oh, well, she's on trial in the future, I guess.
The real forger is your daughter, isn't it?
She's only 12 years old, Mr. Wright. I've always been one more for landscapes, not surrealism.
Nice comeback, but you're shaking in your boots. I've got you now. Only 2 people with access to your studio are you and your daughter. Psyclocks tell me you're not the forger, which makes your daughter the only possibility.
I feel very much on the verge of going psycho-lock myself. Hey, using the powers to figure out the superpowers. Is that cheating? I feel like that's cheating, isn't it? You're not allowed to metagame the superpower. I don't know how you knew, but you're right. The one who made this page was my daughter, Vera. Not I. She's only 12. A genius, you might call her.
A precocious little girl outshining her father. There's been a lot of that going around recently.
Oh, rest in peace, Phoenix. I let her play in the studio and she watched me. She taught herself in that way. I mean, sometimes just experience is the best teacher. The drafting tools and analytic devices I bought when they became necessary. They're my little girl's playthings now.
Do I detect a bit of fatherly pride? So, Vera was the one who made this page. But you know who the client was?
Actually, the client came once. Here to this studio.
Why didn't you say sooner?
Well, their face was covered. They did not want to talk to me.
So they talked to you...
Drew, are you freaking insane? You let a masked man you know nothing about talk in private with your daughter? What the frick is wrong with you? Desperation makes people do stupid things, I guess. I will speak only with the artist, the client told me.
And that little girl is the key to our mystery client's true identity. Okay, what do I do now?
I'll talk to her father a bit more. Or is it time to turn to Vera? Let's see if we can chat with her. Mr. Measham, I have a request. Yes. You'd like to speak with my daughter. Can I? My daughter has never been one to talk to strangers. She's quite shy. Extremely shy, actually. With only one exception.
Which was?
Oddly enough, it was that client. So this is one thing I've learned with working with children and just people in general. Quiet people generally aren't quiet because they choose to. They're quiet because of a bunch of different things. But generally, they do have interests. They do have things they like to talk about. You just have to find that right thing. So, if the client talked to Vera, me as a kid for real, if a client talked to Vera, there are a few possibilities. Holly, you did say one of them, because he's famous, maybe. We know that she likes the magicians. Maybe it was one of the magicians. Maybe they got them to open up to the magicians. Like, as we saw, the person sent her a stamp with the magicians on it. Right? So this person probably knew that Vera liked the magicians. Right? So he said she was a big fan of the magicians. Maybe he figured out that she liked magicians, started talking about magicians, and then she opened up. Right? That's how you get quiet people to talk, by the way. And not like, all right, talk, buddy. I don't mean it like that. I mean it like, just to get them to open up. You generally have to focus on the things that they like, right? Not like outgoing people. Outgoing people, they'll literally talk about anything and they'll talk your freaking ear off. And sometimes it's honestly really annoying. But, introverted people, they are much more concerned, or maybe say careful about what they say. So you have to talk about something that is a little bit more, let's say, comfortable for them to talk about. So I'm not sure if Phoenix would know. Oh no, Drew did say that she liked the magicians, so. Outgoing people are your enemy. Sometimes it does feel like that, doesn't it? I left the studio while they talked. I returned when they had finished, and she was laughing. The first time I'd seen anything of the sort. And let's be real here, Drew is kind of a mess himself. I can't imagine he'd be a very fatherly father, if that makes sense. Like, he probably doesn't know how to raise kids. He's probably just doing his best. Me literally being there. Let me speak with her. All right. Hello, darling. Uh-oh. This could be tough. No, I don't think I'll do this first. Let's try to get her to open up. What do you think of Mr. Hat? That brings up that photo. What do you think about this? I think it just made her nervous. Need something to grab her attention, but... And then there's this.
My stamp.
Oh, she's younger.
My stamp.
Got it. See, I know how to deal with fictional children. I don't think he's a bad. Yeah, he's a dad who's trying. Let's be real here. All parents are bad parents, okay? Because all parents have no idea what they're doing. So that's why I always say you should, try to at least have some level of understanding for your parents. All parents are bad parents because they have no idea what they're doing. They've never raised a child before. Now try that tactic with a real child. It'll be much harder.
Yeah. So this stamp.
Can I have it? Aren't they great magicians?
Isn't True Gramarye amazing?
We got her.
Yeah.
Oh.
I especially like those two. I especially like the one in the center. Thalassa. She's the best, isn't she? I mean, they're just so magical.
Phoenix is totally BSing all of this.
They're like so magical. Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah, whenever I go to one of their shows, I'm like, whoa, magic. I love this. Like, whoa, magic.
Me too. I love them. They're so cool.
Himiko would not be released.
Yeah.
It's like magic, yeah.
She's talking. Not saying much, but it's a start.
I went and saw them with Father the other day in the opening ceremony at the Gramarye Museum of Magic.
The Gramarye Museum, they have one of those? I guess it makes sense now that they have their own commemorative stamp. Have you been to one of their shows? How do you do, fellow kid?
Just one when I was little with father, and the Gremlins were on stage, and it was like a dream, and they were disappearing, and they reappeared, and then they were cutting things, and they were putting them back together, and they do everything.
Yeah, maybe you can keep telling me stuff like this. You know, about Zach and Valent, maybe?
Oh, okay, sure.
All right, we got her.
God, it is so easy to manipulate children. I'm not sure I want to be on the record having said that. I'm just gonna take a sip of my coffee. I'd say Phoenix would misuse Gen Z and Alpha slang. But he wouldn't even be able to see TikTok or Twitter with his phone.
So, Vera,
You get that, Ohio Rizzler? What is other Gen Z slang? Those are the only Gen Z slang words I know. That was not very PogChamp. Wait, PogChamp is an old one. PogChamp is like millennial. Juicy, I'm gonna rizz your mother. I don't think, what does Ohio even mean? What does Rizzler mean? I know what Riz is, but what is a Rizzler? Like someone who is very charismatic? And what is... I don't know anything about the phrase I just said.
I don't go outside much.
Ohio is a state... No, that's not what I mean!
I like to paint in here.
why don't you like the outside?
There's bad people out there.
Oh, no.
Well, true, but there's lots of good people.
Actually, I should tell you. She was almost kidnapped once. Oh, God.
Kidnapped?
Yeah, they tried to push her in a black van and said they were going to wipe her memory and have her on Danganronpa 54. Luckily, that show was canceled. Oh, you see? You can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house.
I see. But that doesn't make sense. She said she went to the Grammary Museum. With you, in fact.
Yes. Actually, she was quite insistent on it, much to my surprise. So, maybe... I'm just thinking, if I was a therapist, what would I do? I would start by having her go to places that she feels most comfortable with. If she feels comfortable going to the Grammary Museum, I would take her there like once a week or something. That might be tough on his wallet, but I don't know. Is the Grammary Museum, does it cost money to go there? Maybe not. What does she do for school? She probably doesn't go to school. Ace Attorney's character getting therapy challenge, 100% fail. I mean, nobody ever recovers from their traumas in this game. It's kind of sad. But you know what I always say? What is it? Exposure therapy is very effective, but it takes a long time to work. It works, just takes forever to happen. But yeah, you would need her to go out to places she is like super, super, super comfortable with. She probably has to have like some sort of security thing while she's in the car, like in the blanket. I don't know if they take subways, but that would be really difficult for her. But I would start, like, you'd be surprised how bad some of these phobias can be. Like, there are people who like they will literally vomit. They will throw up, or maybe they'll faint if they step one step outside their doorway. That's not a joke. There are people like that, and she might be one of them. So probably the first thing I would do if I was it would be like 2019 at this point. Oh, so I don't know. Maybe they might not have predicted Corona, but if it was 2019, she would be going to online school. But this is what I would do. I would actually probably do something like this, like an exposure therapy. I would open the door and just ask her, try to get as close to the doorway as possible. And she probably can't even make it more than she probably couldn't even make it to the doorway without being really, really scared. And probably her dad has to hold her hand. But, try to stand there. And then once you get there, stand as long as you can. Just try. And then when you feel it's too much, you take a step back. And then we'll try to do that again. We'll try to do that again. And then slowly we'll say, you've already gotten there. Let's try taking one step forward. And then within 2 or 3 months, I would try to have her be able to step outside the doorway. And that's not even a joke, by the way. It would probably take like a good 6 months for her to get comfortable with just like getting the mail. Like that would be my first task. Can you go down to stairs with your father to get the mail if this is like an apartment or something like that? And so I would probably like try to help her in 6 months get the mail. And then maybe within a year, I'll try to help her walk her down the street. It's like, it's rough, but she's going to need therapy for a while. Can you go down the stairs? Yeah, it's a good question. That's a tough thing. And I'm going to be honest, Drew he doesn't know how to be a dad. Let's be real here. No one does. He's just saying, okay, you don't want to go outside. You don't have to go outside. And Drew is really just facilitating her phobia. That was the first and last time she ever expressed such an interest to me.
That person gave me a good luck charm.
You probably can't afford something like therapy. That's also fair. You think you need therapy? Well, therapy is not a bad thing. To me, a therapist is like a CPA, a certified accountant. They help you manage your money, right? In this case, they help you manage your problems and stuff like that. To me, it's not all that different than having a manager, right? They help you figure out how to organize certain things in your life. Right. So I know that people think that, a therapist is like a doctor. I see it like, that's not always a positive thing to think about. Going to the doctor is not always a fun thing to think about. I always think of it like, I try to say like, it's like a manager. Sometimes you have so many things on your plate that you need someone to manage things for you. And that's what a therapist can do as well. A person who has 4 and only liked 1. I mean, finding the right therapist is difficult. It's the same thing as finding the right manager, finding the right accountant, finding the right doctor. These things are very personalized things that you need to figure out. So, I mean, if you think you need therapy, I say absolutely. Go see if you can find a therapist that fits you. And, therapists specialize in different things. Some of them specialize in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Some of them specialize in like things like salary management, or like some of them specialize in amnesia. So it's like not amnesia. What is it when you can't sleep? Insomnia. Sorry. But I think some of them specialize in amnesia, but that's besides the point. Some of them specialize in it. So there are lots of different specialties. So find one that maybe fits you.
The person gave me a good luck charm.
Good luck charm?
For when I absolutely have to go outside.
Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. From the client, actually. She won't tell me what it was.
Father, I told you to keep it a secret.
From the client. It was unfair. The only one I liked left, and suddenly they kept putting me with grandmas that couldn't help with what I needed help with. Well, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem that I have. I don't know why we're going into a therapy conversation, but I like chatting about, real things, but the music is not helping with this. Actually, you know what we're going to do for now? I kind of want to chat about this because this is a very real thing that I want to... maybe not this one. Okay, so we're talking about Vera and her thing, but like, if we're talking about, what was it? Like, not this, we'll just have Trucy on the screen to make us feel a little bit happier. Okay, hey Randy, how's it going? We have a side conversation about therapy right now, but, when you're saying it was totally unfair that the one you liked left and then they kept putting you with grandmas, like, you know, I'm assuming grandma means older people who couldn't help with what you needed help with. I'm going to be real here. It's not always obvious if they can or they can't help, right? I always say this about therapy, and this is something that most people don't like to hear. Therapy isn't necessarily designed to make you feel better. It's not designed to make you feel better. It's designed to help you figure out your problems. And figuring out your problems is not comfortable. It's not a comfortable thing. So there are a lot of people who will say, like, I don't like this therapist, when in reality, the reason why they don't like it is because there are a lot of problems that are slowly falling apart and falling into place that they're trying to work out. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily your specific case or anything, but what I am saying is that when you say, like, oh, grandmas that couldn't help you with what you needed help, it's possible that when you went to this grandma, this new grandma psychologist, the problem is you have problems with identity, and they bat around the topic instead of confronting it. Yes, that does not surprise me. And chances are, the reason why they were getting around the topic instead of talking about it is because they probably identified, they'll be different, but they probably identified that the things causing your problem may have been something unrelated to the problem itself, right? Like, for example, there are, and once again, I am not blaming you. I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm not saying this. I'm just trying to understand the situation. And, you know, I like to chat about these types of things. And so, you know, and feel free to tell me if I'm overstepping my bounds. But there are plenty of situations where I have been really, really, really upset with certain friends, or because they did certain things, or they did certain problems, right? They did problems. They did terrible things to me. When I realized the reason why I'm actually upset has something more to do with the fact that my mom died when I was young, and therefore I expect certain things from people. It's like it's a very long, complicated trail of things that leads me to saying you did something wrong, when in reality it wasn't exactly that they did something wrong. It was that they said something that pissed me off because of a certain thing that happened many years ago. Right? Like, I'll give you a very basic example. When my mom first passed away, I hated Yo Mama jokes, obviously, right? Now I have no problem with them because I understand they're not meant to be malicious. They're meant to be silly. But I assumed every Yo Mama joke was kind of attacking me. Right? So, like, you know, I think, when if a psychologist would work with me, I would say, like, oh, I hate why people just use Yo Mama jokes. It's like, and then this person keeps talking about, and the psychologist keeps saying, oh, well, let's talk about the death of your mom. And it's like, what does that have to do with the fact that they're making fun of me? It's like, well, obviously this is like a very crudely constructed example, but this is the reality of psychology. Often, the things that psychologists identify that are the problems are actually somewhat unrelated to the actual problem, or the actual problem that you think it is. So when you say something like, your problem is this thing, and it felt like the psychologists were kind of going around the problem, it's possible because they didn't think that was the actual problem, right? And I understand that you might think that's the problem, right? Maybe you think that this is the problem. But often when you look at it from an outsider perspective, especially for someone who is trained to do this type of thing, sometimes it's not always clear that that is the actual problem. So what the psychologists need to do is they need to try to like look at other aspects of things and see what contributes to your problem. And that's going to be uncomfortable and you're not going to like it because, well, who likes that? No one likes that, but that's something that has to happen in therapy, which is why I always say you should go to therapy, but don't expect to feel good coming out of therapy. It takes months, sometimes even years before therapy can actually take effect. But yeah. So when you say something like, "Oh, there's a certain problem," right? It's possible that the psychology is trying to work on other things. I stopped trying to talk to them about those problems and found comfort with your close friend. I mean, that's not a problem. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But at the same time, you know, it's not you don't want to always rely on your friends. Because, and that sounds weird, like you should absolutely seek comfort in your friends. You know, you should seek comfort in being, you know, like comfort in your friends for supporting you. It's like, hey, we got your back, right? I think that's great. But there are plenty of friends also who don't really understand the extent of your issues. You should be able to rely on yourself. Well, I mean, you should be able to rely on a lot of different people, right? And, you know, just to finish this thought, I want to actually address what Holly said, but just to finish this thought, it's like, you know, I know friends who are out there who would confirm everything. It's like, man, I just started doing heroin. Hey, man, your parents seriously telling you not to do heroin? That's just BS, man. Go do heroin, man. It's okay. It's your life. Do what you want. It's like, I know friends who would do that, and they mean well because they just want to see you happy. But seeing you happy isn't the same thing as helping you. So, you know, you should always be a little bit careful when you rely on friends. And same thing with relying on professionals. But I do generally, you would generally trust professionals a little bit more. Anyway, Holly said, have I told you that your family actually got sent you to therapy once because they didn't want to go out of the house? Interesting. I mean, did everything work out? Are you able to go out of the house again now? But anyway, yeah, so that's my 2 cents on therapy. I think, first of all, don't use BetterHelp, please. Unless BetterHelp wants to sponsor. Hey, BetterHelp, if you want to sponsor me, I might be willing to change my mind on that. No, but therapy is a very personalized thing. Do not trust some random app to do it for you. Anyway, Holly, yeah, I know sometimes it takes a while for you to respond, but yeah, let me know if it worked out. Anyway, let's go back to Ace Attorney. We totally took a random tangent. And I understand that things I say about therapy aren't always comfortable, but hopefully you guys have the maturity to hear it and realize, that's a different way of thinking, and hopefully you guys can put some thought into it instead of outright rejecting it like everyone else does. All right, tell me about the forgeries, girl. Ace Attorney is fair enough.
So your father tells me you're good at painting, huh?
I really like painting a lot. Father's always very happy when I paint 2 attorneys together. Or exactly the same.
So you did this too?
Oh, yeah. That was my first job.
Your first?
All I used to do was paint the same thing. But this was totally different. The pen sips and the way the writer held the pen and the pressure on the nib, and I had to use a microscope and analyze it on the computer.
Doesn't Phoenix not even know how to use a computer?
He seems happy.
Odd. Her work was the last nail in the Grammary coffin.
Guess no one told her.
Please don't tell her. I guess she'll find out 7 years later.
They're the best magician in the world.
Oh, you mean Troop Grammary?
Father gave it to me.
Your father? But I asked him about it. He didn't know how you got it.
Oh, I guess I took it then.
Took it.
Father got a letter from the person.
You mean the letter was from the client?
Oh, and we talked about the Guamuis forever that day, and I'm sure that's why he sent the stamp. I didn't want to just send it back, so I took it.
You just went through therapy till it was over. Well, did you start going out of the house more often? Are you able to go out of the house?
They're a sneaky one, this client. So they were trying to get on her good side.
All right, tell me about the client. Now we know that the client sent the stamp in as a way to kill her. Probably kill Vera. And he didn't expect that she would just keep it.
You met the person that asked you to do this job, huh? And you talked with them? What's this about a good luck charm?
I can't talk about it.
Huh?
If I do, it won't work anymore. That's what I was told.
Yeah, but I really, really, really want to know.
Frick. We're gonna have to break a little girl's mind. I'm sorry, Vera.
You seem to trust this client. Quite a lot, in fact. Because they gave you the stamp?
No, that's not why. They listened to me. To my problem.
The problem that keeps her inside.
Don't go outside if you don't want to. That's what they told me. But when I absolutely have to, all I have to do was use the good luck charm.
Good luck charm.
The client was trying to kill both of them. Oh my. I am gonna murder this man. I swear to frickin' God. The good luck charm is the nail polish. That's why she uses it when she's outside. That's why she used it when she was in court. I'm gonna murder him. I'm gonna frickin' murder him.
I'm coming for you, Officer Meekins! I know it was you! How could you do it, Meekins?
Imagine if it was Meekins.
I told you I would be a splendid ninja as well. Even if I can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu. I think I know what your client may have given you, actually.
Do I not have the nail polish? I don't have the nail polish. Why don't I clicked on the nail polish.
I may not have enough evidence. Maybe it's time to do a little more squats.
Yeah, I clicked on this. Oh, Drew's not letting me touch this one. I probably have to find it somewhere else. Alright, well, let's head out. Alright, Doc! We have to go! Back to the future!
What will we learn at the Borscht Bowl Club? Find out next time.
God, this game is so fun. This is the weirdest. This is the weirdest trial I've seen so far. Definitely. Wait till I see the bonus case in Dual Destinies. Right, this one only has 4 cases. Oh, which means we're coming to the end of Apollo Justice. But Apollo does appear in the next Phoenix Wright game, I know, along with a new girl, Artemis. I know they're named after Greek gods. There's Apollo, and Apollo's sister is Artemis, right? So it must be Apollo and Artemis, right? Athena. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Athena. I heard she's very sassy. I hope she doesn't have some sort of unresolved trauma like everyone else in this game does. Hi, I'm Athena, and I'm normal. You're not suitable to be a lawyer. I know we went off on a lot of tangents today, but I'm glad we got a chance to talk about stuff. Yeah, we went off on a lot of tangents. This game actually talked about some pretty deep stuff, like show business and like the horrors of the dark side of show business, and therapy at the very end, and yeah, there was a lot of stuff we talked about. Also, there has been no Emma in this case, and I am so upset. How will people relate to her if she doesn't have trauma? The writers are all like, the fan base is too weird. We need more normal people. Watch. Athena's backstory is like, my brother murdered my family, so I have to murder my brother, but he is too powerful. She has Sasuke's backstory or something. The prosecutor of the next game is very attractive, even though he's a man. All right, so that tells me that he's probably either a psychopath or a serial killer. Because that's what apparently attractive men are, right? All the ladies out there are all like, oh, hear me out. This guy's really attractive. And it's like the Joker. Right? That's what women love. See, as a certified expert on women, and I have been endorsed by many people, such as Hobo Bob down the street, as a certified women's expert, I know that the 2 things women love are astrology and serial killer. Am I going to get canceled? I get canceled literally every stream, so who cares? Women are amazing. Well, you see, I would agree with you. Wait, I have 0 instances of simping this stream? Yo, I'm winning, man. I'm freaking winning. Bowser, why aren't you tracking my simps? I have simped for Lamiwa at least like 6 times this stream. It's not simping. think if you're right. Fair enough. But man, this is a good case. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a good day. I had a really rough week, as you guys have already heard. Let me check my email to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I didn't miss anything, but... Sick. Ate some Swiss rolls, so that's cool. College is annoying. What are you studying? College is annoying. I mean, of course, because school is hard. Learning things is hard. But yeah, man, I will tell you, it's pretty rough, to be honest, for me. Still waiting for my agent to get back to me, but I know people say it takes several months, sometimes even a year, but I'm just you don't have much faith based on the current landscape of things. You want to be a writer. I mean, the nice thing about being a writer is you don't really need that many prerequisites. You gotta go. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, Kioma. Yeah, the nice thing about being a writer is you don't need that many prerequisites. You just need to be a writer. But once again, if you want to get into the arts, a lot of it is business. So you have to make sure you, you know, talk to people who are actual publishers and so on and so forth. Learn about, you know, character theory. Learn about plot, like theory of how to set up a plot, what makes good things. Read the Bible. I'm not even joking about that, right? And I'm not a very religious person, by the way. So I'm not saying that, like, read the Bible and become a Christian. No, I'm saying, like, read the Bible and understand why so many people have read the Bible for millennia. Because story-wise, it is a very effective story, right? I always encourage people who want to do creative writing to read the Bible. Read the Bible is probably the funniest advice I've ever gotten. Well, I'm glad I'm unique. At least I'm unique in my advice giving. But no, that's not even a joke. Read the Bible. There are different translations. I don't know which one's the best for story writing, but read the Bible is, I think you should absolutely. People say Canterbury Tales is very good for story writing. I think Canterbury Tales is a bit of a mess, but that's because it's kind of like out there and it was never finished. The dude died. No one ever finished it. So maybe you don't read the Canterbury Tales. Read the Bible. I think it's great. Understand what makes the Bible such a good story. And I would generally say read the Old Testament. So I suppose that's the Torah and not the Bible. You know, people debate on what exactly counts as a text versus, like, is Noah's Ark, right? Is that scripture? Or is that lore? Or is that mythology? And people will debate about that, and, like, they'll, like, argue about what the correct vocabulary it is to use for there. It's like, it's a story. It's a story. Like, is it a real story? Is it a scripture, religious story? It's a story. It's a story. So, you're not religious, so you don't care? Or you don't know? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, you don't... I always say this, right? You don't have to be religious to read something that is religious, right? And I think that's one of the big... By the way, I think that's one of the big problems as to why writers are so bad nowadays. Because so many of them don't read the Bible. You know, when in the 50s, you were forced to read the Bible. Because you had to be a good Christian child. But, like the small parts you went to church. Yeah, exactly, right? You know, so try to read the Bible and try to understand why it's a good story. Because there is a reason why the Bible is the oldest book in existence, right? It's because people like the stories, right? You can say, oh, religion and stuff like that. Just think about the fact that the stories are so good that it became a religion. Just think of it like that. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the Old Testament, how the Old Testament was actually formed. So I don't know. Some of you guys know the history of the Bible. So the Old Testament, at the very least, was actually a product of a civil war. I say that a little bit facetiously because it wasn't really a product of a civil war, but essentially, the Bible was written in an era of warring tribes, right? And functionally, when those tribes stopped warring and they decided to unionize, they took all the stories that they had and they tried to piece them together. And so some people will say like, oh, how come the Bible says one thing over here and it contradicts itself over there? Well, that's because one story came from like over here and one story came from over there and one story was from here and one story was over there. So it's not actually a unionized story. It's a collection of a bunch of stories that people have put together in almost like a anthology. So that's how I think some people should think about the Bible. Right? It's actually a collection of stories from all across many different tribes. Right? So people don't realize, because, religion was so prevalent in the early 1900s, people often, don't really study the history of religion. Right? Because, if you study the history of religion, sometimes it's considered blasphemous because you're like, oh, well, the religion started here with this guy writing. It's like, no, it's from God. It's like, well, no, there is a history to everything. And the history of the Bible is that some people got together and figured out what stories they want to keep and what stories do they want to throw out. So they decided Noah's Ark was really good. They decided the Tower of Babel was really good. They decided this story where a woman's feet grew massive was pointless and they threw it out. I made that up. We don't know what that story was. But I'm just saying, if her feet grew massive, all the better to step on me with them, all right? What? I didn't hear anything. Did you hear something? Yeah, but you're lucky I don't know how the commands work. Honestly, if you want to add a simp, you just type !simp. That's it. Yeah, I think the most simps I've ever had was over 100. It was the Poppy Playtime stream, I think. Do you guys remember? For those of you who were there during my Poppy, was that the most simps I've ever had, Poppy Playtime? I think it was Poppy Playtime. I mean, let's be real here. That Huggy Wuggy, oh man. He got some legs, if you know what I'm saying. Oh! Yeah, I noticed that. You wonder what my reaction to Verity Gavel? I don't know who that is. I guess we'll find out. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. What game is this? 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 Ace Attorney Investigations 2. I think we know what game we're going to be playing next. Oh my goodness. Phoenix Wright is a good game. Anyway. Yeah, I think everyone's tired. I'm tired too. Ace Attorney Women Oh my god, Ace Attorney women. Only second to Urbosa, my beautiful, big, strong woman. My only requirement is breathing. When it comes to my love life, my only requirement is breathing, and sometimes that's optional. Do trees breathe? Do trees breathe? I have simped for a tree before. I think so. Anyway, I think I better get going. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, y'all. I will be streaming tomorrow, by the way, so we might end the trial, or we might have 2 more. I don't know how long it'll be. Judging on how long this past and future part is, it might be 2, but it might be 1. We'll see. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. You have any quests for me? I'll see you all next time.